Hello everyone, hope you're doing great. Yossies, how you doing, brother? Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having a nice Wednesday. Let me jump to the right scene. Perfect. Not right overly though, but that's about it. Perfect. How you guys doing? Hope you guys have had a great start of the week, wherever you are, whatever time it is on your end of the world. Let me just hide this so you guys have a better preview. So, just to give you guys a bit of insight on today's stream before we actually jump into it, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Especially, yo Mike, how you doing, brother? We have a lot to talk about, especially regarding one big topic, which are the reveals for Spiritforged. Sorry, cat wants to go out already. What do you want to do, kitty? No, she's okay. There have been a ton of reveals regarding Spiritforged, and by the way, we will have Twitter notifications, like X, whatever you want to call it, notifications. Ooh, she wants to say hi, I guess. For like most of the evening, I've put every account that tweets about new cards on like notifications mode, so that if there's a card released during the stream, which is most likely to happen, in my opinion, we can review it together like the second it's released, because there have been a ton of reveals. Some of them were Monday. I think Monday we got something like 30 plus cards, maybe 32, something like that. And then today did not count yet, but we are supposed to get about the same, I guess. So we are of course going to be discussing this together and trying to like evaluate the potential of cards, how good they could be, how good do they fit in their Legends deck, and potentially updating that tier list that we made with quote-unquote just the Legends effect, because some of them we knew already had several cards, as in Draven, but some of them we knew nothing about, as in like Jax, Fiora, Rek'Sai, Ezreal, and so on and so on. So we are going to be evaluating all of those. Have you been playing Airy to continue my night again last night? Yup, I did play Airy lately. Did it go well? Like, did you do great? Did you do well at the event? Also, I'm not in my like Avril Lavigne or whatever era. I was just like not finding a sweater to put on, so I went for the double shirt to not be cold, because it's cold as hell right now where I live. As in like potentially 0 something Celsius, which for France, I guess if some of you are like in Finland or whatever, you are being like, weakling. But like for France, 0 is already pretty cold. We rarely go below like -5. Like -5 is critical cold here. So like 0 is already kind of cold. So tonight we are talking reveals. We are also talking deck lists, because there have been tourneys in the West. What I'd like to qualify as like first majors in the West. Technically, they're not majors because they're not like official, Riot since like licensed, whatever. But like first big tournaments to 200 plus players in the West, physical. And we have a lot of results to look at, be it deck lists, format shifts, sorry. So we are going to talk about all that. There have been actually 3 of them. One has been in, let me remember, San Francisco, something like that. Or am I dumb? Can't remember. Anyway, there have been like 2 tourneys in the US and one also in the UK, which was the Rift Lab tourney. And we are going to look at all 3 of these. And if you guys have kept up with the meta for the past weekend, there's a lot to talk about, especially one deck seems to be jumping from like potential underdog to potential top tier. And this is something that we'll try to talk about. And I also have some news for you guys to talk about regarding that deck. So we are going to do all of this together. And then if we do have time, we are going also to review one game of this deck specifically. Not sure if we review finals or top 4. Potentially finals could be great. But we are going to review one game of Set, because Set has been popping off a lot recently. So we are going to talk about Set a lot and also try and understand why it does so well in the current format, which I think was kind of predictable, maybe not to that extent. Like, I would not have said confidently Set is going to win 2 out of the 3. But if someone asked me, what do you think about Set? Do you think it could win one of them? I would probably have said yes. And for those who have been here on the channel all along, you know about my my thoughts regarding Set already. Let me just click there. Light is in the way. Okay, great. You know about my thoughts regarding Set already, and he was up there. Up there. We did update it with Randy, but like my tier list was up there. I think it was like this, whatever. But like I did think Set was a strong deck, and I still think it's extremely good in the current format. So we are going to talk about all of this tonight. At least that's the plan. If we don't have time to fit everything, I'll probably do extra hours. Also, advertising now, I'll do it several times during the night, so like feel free to do something else, like go grab some water or whatever if you've already heard about it. But it's the first time, so you can't have heard about it already. Don't go grab your water now. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Paris time, so I'll probably start stream at like 5:50, something like that Paris time. I will be casting Robalas Cup 2, or Robalas Riftbound League, sorry, 2. I did the English broadcast this Sunday for edition 1. It was great, it was cool. A lot of you were in the chat already, so like thank you for the support. And the number 2 tourney, so second tourney, is tomorrow. I'll be casting it, not sure if I'm alone or if I have some co-casters with me, we'll see. I'm still discussing matters with some of them. But if you want to watch some great Riftbound together and analyze the game and like just chat and talk, just like as we do when I cast or like all of the time, feel free to jump in, it will be fun. And it's about 6 rounds or 5, I think it's 6. So it will be from like 6 p.m. to most likely midnight or like in that range. Feel free to jump in. And also if you missed the first tourney and the first broadcast, I can ping it to you in the chat. The VOD is here. I did cut everything between rounds, so if you want the full VOD, you can just go to Twitch. It's free. You just have to click channel video and then grab it. Like you can watch it for free. But if you just want like the faster version with like no in between the games, nothing in between, and just like games, and me casting, feel free to watch that VOD. It's available on YouTube. And it's only on TCG Arena, so everything clear, everything clean, rather enjoyable. I did like it. I did like the experience a lot, and I can't wait for tomorrow. It was best of 1, went 2-2, lost round 1 to Set with the ganking battlefield, and lost round 2 to a turn 3 Aurora. Gotcha. Best of 1 is tough, especially into these matchups in which like you need the side deck. It's extremely important. Like Rune Prison into Set is cracked. It's in the sideboards. What's the name? Adaptatron into Aura is cracked. It's in the sideboard. So these best of 1 matchups definitely take their toll on Ari. I think it's way harder to play Ari in a best of 1 environment than it is to play the deck in a best of 3 environment, because the sideboards is so important, and also the battlefields are extremely important. And specifically in best of 1, you just bring out a random battlefield every time. So like, yeah. I kinda don't like that best of 1 thingy, and I also think it debuffs Ari. Like it nerfs Ari a lot actually. Do you guys like anime music? Like what's playing in the background right now? Or should we just put some good old LOL music? What do you guys want? Let me check. There's no new chord reveal. No new chord reveal. So what do we start with? I feel like we start with the new reveals, right? I feel like we start with the new reveals, because like, let's analyze them, and then we talk about the formats, right? You guys down? I feel like we start with the new reveals. Yo, Jacob, how you doing, brother? Let's start with the new reveals then. Say, let me update the title actually. Analyzing Spiritforged code reveals. Okay, great. Stream title updated. My best of 1s with Ari have been miserable, lol. To that point, like miserable, you're a I feel side deck is important, and battlefields too. Miserable though. Must have been tough, right? Must have been tough. So let me just jump onto that Riftbound chords gallery so we can start going through the intel that we got. So as a quick, I should actually start there, right? As a quick reminder, some of you may potentially not know about this, but Spiritforged, so set 2 of Riftbound, will or is having, rather, its reveal season, exactly as set 1. Like you had in set 1 a lot of reveals done over time, and then we got the full reveal and then the set released in China. It's exactly the same. Set is releasing in a few weeks, I'd say, in China. So we are now getting the reveals. If you want to check where to see them, you can go on that article. I will share it in the chat right now, so you guys can click if you want to. And there's a link to basically everyone that is sharing reveals. So as you can see, this was Monday, so the day before yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people revealing chords. So all of them have one singular chord to reveal, and then the socials revealed a lot of them actually. And then same today, we don't have all of them yet, hoping that we get them during the stream so we can analyze them together. If not, we're talking about them next week, don't worry. Or maybe like tomorrow in between games, potentially we could do that too. And this is going on for quite some time, up until we have every chord of the set. So far we only know about them, and we are going to analyze them together. Regarding Monday's reveal, we have everything in the chord gallery. So this is what we are going to be taking a look at right now, like this, the official chord gallery. But for today's reveals, we don't have the chord gallery update yet, because not all of them are up on socials. So we are going also to look at Twitter, which means we have some potentially not 100% accurate translations, because like some of them we have this, right? And so like this is Chinese. Of course we can get a rough translation, we have an idea of what the chord does, but we are like not 100% certain it's accurate. Sometimes small things can change, so let's keep that in mind, right? But most of the effect is correct, and we can get a grasp of like what's going on, what's the chord going to do, how is it going to affect the format, and so on and so on. So let's start with what's in the chord gallery, right? Let's do this. I think Win Wall main actually makes it not bad for me. Got to Win Wall my first time warp yesterday. This is sick. Like they use time warp, you go wall, they go I lost the game. Yep. Vex looks insane. Vex looks sick. I'm pretty hyped about Vex, but we are going to talk about this in a while. Yo, Mazen, how you doing, brother? Let me just grab a sip, and here we go. So let's scroll down to our first chord. Some of them I'm going to pass over. This is because we know about them already. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will answer gladly to give you my analysis and thoughts. But like Draven, we are not going to talk about because we analyzed it about 2 weeks ago now. Longsword Nether, first new chord is Piercing Light. So as you can see on the chord's illustration, it looks like a Lucian chord. I think this chord is rather strong, but I don't really see how it fits the Lucian theme. Like I see how it fits the Lucian theme from like League, right? As in like you have your spells, you hit your spells that reduces the cooldown. Then when you hit a spell, your next auto attack deal like it's twice. So I see how it fits the global Lucian theme. What I don't see is how this helps Lucian become a better version of like that. I equip a lot and then I roam around the board deck. So like I like that chord. Not so sure it's going to work in Lucian. Great. I'm actually doing great. Thank you, brother. Worst falling star because it could be D5. Yep, exactly. But still, that's still a decent chord. So Piercing Light is, or Piercing rather, is 2 energy and a power. But you can also repeat the effect for 2 energy and a power. So as you guys know, repeat is the new mechanic or one of the new mechanics of the set. Rather, you can pay the cost twice to activate the chord's effect twice. In that case, Piercing Light allows you to deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield, then deal 2 to up to one other unit. So basically, as you just said, Jakub, it's like quote unquote worst Falling Star, because Falling Star is deal 3 to a unit twice, so total 6 damage. This one is total 8 damage, but you have to target a unit at a battlefield, which Falling Star does not have a restriction to do. And also you have to target 2 different units, which means even if you repeat, you can target like 4 different units. Could be potentially useful in like token matchups, Victor maybe, something like that, but like whatever. But if you do target the same units twice, so like first ping, second ping, then first ping, second ping of the repeat, you end up dealing 4 and 4, which I think is a bit worse than doing 6 at a singular target. And it can be defined, you guys are right. So like, I don't hate it. I think it can come in as like a great chord to add up, like increase that amount of blasting spells that you have. But I don't think it runs the show in terms of like dealing damage through spells. I think Falling Star is better. I think most likely X-Tech Ray is better because action, this one does not have neither action nor reaction. And I think like if you want to have like that small, very packed burst of damage, you have Falling Star already. And if you want to have like that big burst of damage split all over the board, you have Icasian Rain, which of course is more expensive, but like also kinda better, right? Kinda better. So I would say overall piercing is not seeing play because it seems like it does not fit Lucian, at least so far. It rather fits Kaisa, and Kaisa already has better tools. If this ends up being a Kaisa court, it's most likely a 1 or 2 off to like increase the numbers of damage spells. But I don't think it's like a 3 off absolute staple. That being said, it's not a bad court by any means. It's like very decent. If we did not have Falling Star, I would probably be very excited about this one. But we do have Falling Star, so not so sure if this is like crazy sick compared to what we already have. Can you repeat if your spell gets defied? Nope. Defy makes it as if you did not even play the court. So like you can't repeat at all, for sure. Like you counter the entirety of the spell and you send the code to trash and that's about it. Second chord that we have is Rel. I'm kind of excited about Rel. I do like Rel as a champ overall in League. I do like the way she moves around. I do like the lore around being able to like manipulate iron, sort of like she has powers. I really do like Rel. But these cards, not so sure. Let's talk about this card there. So it's a 4 might, 4 energy champion unit with no power cost. Pretty good stat line, especially because it's a champion. So we know that if someday we have a red something Rel legend, we already have a decent champ to pair it with. Like not too expensive, turn 2 play, probably works with what the deck wants to do. Kinda like it. Then this Rel has tank. So you guys know about tank already. And then she also has, when I attack, you may play an equipment with an energy cost, no more than 2, ignoring its cost and attach it to me. It's extremely slow, but like Rel is also kind of slow of a champ, low-wise, so I can kind of see why it was warped that way. And I don't hate it. The only thing is like it's a lot of setup, right? Like you have to drop Rel, then you kind of have to either accelerate it one way or another. We could think Sun Disc, we could think Ride the Wind if Rel is like red-purple. Like there are a few things that could accelerate this, but like, okay, we have to play Rel, we have to either accelerate it or wait a complete turn. Then you have to have an equipment that is 2 or less cost and attach it to Rel. So let's say you don't find a way to accelerate that chord. It means that like this chord, like this equip that you are going to play is going to come up on turn 3 when you're on like 6-7 runes, basically. And like I don't feel like playing a 2 energy or less equip on turn 3 makes like such a big swing in tempo, right? So either you can accelerate that well, then you play it on turn 2, potentially interesting, like through Legends effect, whatever, I don't know. If you have to play it the fair way, I don't think it's that good. That being said, the champion is like not bad, not trash. Ignoring power cost, yep. If it's ignoring its energy cost, it's energy. If it's ignoring its power cost, it's power. If it's just ignoring its cost as a whole. So no energy, no power cost, basically. The only thing, like I see Nike talking about this in chat, and I do agree. The only thing I could see this rel doing that would be not unfair, but like super good, would be if we have a gear that is like 2 energy, but like 3 to 4 power, because it's kinda strong, and then they balanced it around the fact that you have to recycle a lot of power to drop it. Then if we could play this for free, potentially I could see something with that rel. So far, do not like it so much, but like potentially in the future, decent chords, especially if we have a good rel legend. So this rel, I don't like so much. Kelly wants to go out. Give me a second. Go, baby. Go. Okay, great. She's outside. Let's scroll. We have more of this to review, by the way. Also, something that I don't think I mentioned, but I don't like so much about this rel is most of them slow mid-game units. I feel like, as I told you before, I do think that they designed set 2 and 3, like at least 2 and 3, potentially 4, but I think 2 and 3 before releasing set 1. Or at least they had a rough idea of what they wanted to do, right? And I think through their testing, they realized that Kai'Sa would be strong. Potentially not as strong as we know about it already, like right now in the formats. But I think they expected Kai'Sa to be strong, and I think that's an interesting design approach. I'm going to talk you through why, but I think it's interesting. And set 2, we can already see that a lot of these slower chords, I mean like chords that you have to drop and then wait for a turn before they do anything. Either you have a way to accelerate them, as in like Irelia, stuff like that, then it becomes kind of good. Or you have like Deflect or Deflect 2, or like some of these keywords that make them rather resilient to blasting spells. And yeah, I kind of do like the fact that they thought about this, and I think set 2 is going to come in as a big indirect nerf to Kai'Sa. Like equips are going to be a nerf to Kai'Sa. Most of them big mid-game units now have either deflect or accelerate, so Kai'Sa is obviously not as good because she can't, like, you drop your unit, they falling store your base, and you wasted your turn literally. At least your bodies are going to have an impact. So I think the game is going to go way faster, at least in terms of what units can produce when they come in. And I think it's going to be an indirect nerf to like Kai'Sa and stuff. Actually, never mind. No red green until set 4. I think they announced set 4 is the set in which they are going to bring them opposite colors legend. Because for those of you who don't know, there are opposite colors in like yellow and purple are opposed as order and chaos. Body is opposed to mind, so orange and blue. And then calm, so green, is opposed to fury in red. And we are not going to get a legend for these associations of colors until set 4. Then set 4, we will have a red-green legend, a blue-orange legend, and a yellow-purple legend. So this is going to be cool too. That like we have to wait until we get this, but when we get them, it's actually going to create so much more possibilities in terms of combining stuff. I do like it. I do like it a lot. Don't remember if I said hi, but yo, Celine, how you doing? So regarding there's also one thing I wanted to mention. From a player's perspective, I can see why we would think that having Kai'Sa be so strong in the early days of the game is a problem. Like, you want to play your pet legend. You want to thrive with like the legend that you like or the kind of gameplay that you like, and you are frustrated because it's not so good in Kai'Sa. Hello Leona mains, hello Yasuo mains. I could see that. But also, I think we have to take into consideration that when they do design the set and they make Kai'Sa a bit overtuned, thank you for the follow, the H, thank you, brother. They make Kai'Sa a bit overtuned, right? I think they knew about it, and the purpose is that we create something that's kind of too strong, like not broken strong, but too strong, which means that next set, we don't have to address a full format and be like, this has to be balanced, but these two, but these two, but these two, and if we make a single mistake, everything breaks down and crumbles and we have a tier 0, right? Rather, I like this approach of like, we know that something is a bit stronger, so set 2 is going to come in as an answer to what we knew was strong in set 1. And when we are already fixing a problem, we are bringing in new type of chords, new things, but also we know what was strong. So like now we know that we are going to fix that issue instead of like having that full-on white page of a quote-unquote perfect format that does not exist and having to make like very small adjustments and not a lot of freedom, because if we do make these chords too strong, we break the formats. Like let's say deflect is too strong because we gave deflect 2 to too many units in set 2. Well then set 3, now we will release bodies like units that are able to beat deflect, like either big stats or like this is not affected by your opponent's keyword or whatever. And I think like we have a circle, a pattern of like fixing the previous set too strong deck that I do like a lot, and I think it's very smart that they approached it that way for a set 1. If you compare to stuff like Lorcana, for instance, Lorcana has had an extremely strong set 1 that remains one of the best sets, if not the best set in the game, up until rotation in like set 9, 10, something like that. Because like set 1 was not balanced to have flaws, it was balanced to be overall good, and then it meant that it remained overall good over time, and staples remain staples, and too strong chords remain too strong chords. So I really do like the approach that they chose for designing, and I don't believe it's a mistake. I really do believe they thought about this, and they made sure it would work that way, in my opinion. I hope it's just fixing and not killing the old sets. I don't think Kai'Sa is going to be killed by any means. I just think she's going to be balanced by like other decks around it have way better answers than they did in set 1. Do you think every set mostly invalidates the precedent set legend? No. I don't think it invalidates the set. This is not what I said. This is not what I meant. Sorry if you misunderstood. I think it balances. And the fact that you are able to balance by bringing new stuff in, like equips, new keywords, gold gear tokens, also implies that this new stuff already has a purpose. It already has a goal. So it's not like we have to create, right? It's just like we have to bring in then small mechanics that will help us balance the game, and they are meant to do this. So let's balance them around that. And I do like it. I really do think it's a great game design approach. More so it will shift the meta and different strategies will get stronger, weaker as the meta wraps around the strongest chord. Yep, exactly. I do agree with you, Sol. I do agree with you. Anyway, that's about it for Rare. It was a bit much of a talk, but I think it's important to give my impression of what we've seen so far overall, and not only like just talking about this chord, because there's context around it and it's important to consider it. This one we knew about already. Green Irelia is pretty strong in my opinion. You guys know about it already. We talked about it last week. This one we did not know about though. This is a spell that seems dedicated to Ornn, but don't get mistaken, it's not Ornn's signature spell. It's Below the Breath. It's a spell that costs an energy and a power, so basically just like a showstopper or whatever. You tap your rune, then you recycle when you use it properly. Gotcha. So Below the Breath is an action that also has the repeat keyword, so you can basically pay 2 energies and 2 power to do the effect twice, and then it's deal 1 to up to 3 units at the same location. I think this chord is overall not good. I just think there is one legend that could make it work, and it's Ezreal. Because Ezreal, to use its legend ability, you have to have targeted enemy units and or gears at least twice this turn to tap him and draw a card. And this card alone allows you to deal 1 to up to 3, and so put in the work to have them 2 targets in the same card. I could see that if Ezreal lacks good ways to trigger its legend ability. If it's like Showstopper, it means that Salvage can use it for free. That's exactly what I meant. Maybe some of you were watching the ads. Jakub was not, because Jakub is a Prime sub. But I said it's exactly like Showstopper, so you tap the rune, then you recycle it. If you are using it properly, wink wink. Got me, right? I don't want to tackle that matter. I mean, like, to go in depth on that matter. But I have an opinion on this. This is not my business to talk about it, but I do have an opinion, though. So, once again, I don't think Below's Breath is so good. I don't think it will see play in Ornn, which is rather funny, because, like, except if Ornn has, like, an abysmal matchup into, like, Victor. Meh. I don't believe it will be the case, but, like, let's say as an abysmal matchup into Victor, then you can see it as a potential side card. But other than that, I don't see it as a good chords. Maybe potentially just in Ezreal, so you can tap Ezreal to draw chords. And that's about it. Words Atlas is also a chord that I don't think is super strong. I was quite disappointed with blue reveals up until we get the next one. So I'm not going to be like super alarmist or whatever in like blue is trash this set. But like these 2 first chords, I don't like them. Yo Popcorn, how you doing rather? So Word Atlas is 3 energy, and then you can pay a power to attach it. And this says, when I hold, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. I've been waiting for you to go live. Oh, were you? Thank you, brother. Nice to have you here. Yeah, there is a hold strat somewhere in the set in Renata. We can go to Renata if you want. Renata is when you are on light hold, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token. And so basically, what this means is like with Word Atlas on the board equipped to a unit, you are going to be able to generate 3 gold gears exhausted instead. My big problem is it gives 2 might. So it could potentially help, as in like in the early game you want to equip this and then you have that extra might to survive and then play the gears and then you are ahead. Potentially could make sense. But like realistically, playing a 3 energy gear in the mid game also means you are developing nothing on turn 2, most likely. Because then if you use it later, like the later you use it, the stronger your opponents are. So you can use it to apply perma pressure, but I think they will be able to kill your units most of the time. So I have to say I don't like this card. I think it's too slow. I think if you have a way to cheat it out, then potentially it's good. Like let's say we get a unit that says, if you play me directly to a battlefield, you may play an equipment from your end that is like 3 energy or less. Would probably be broken, but like something like that would make sense. Other than that, I don't see this card seeing play. Going second also, holding is a terrible strategy. Like you are almost never certain you will be able to hold going second. So I don't think this card is good. I don't think it's going to see play. Maybe in a super control build of like Renata, but I don't think that build will be good. So like whatever. If you cheat this out with Scott reduction somehow, exactly. Yeah, like you have to cheat this out. If you don't cheat it out, it's not good, for sure. Would you really run that in Ezreal just for the legend effect? Seems a stretch. Potentially, yeah. I could see that course or being run in Ezreal. As in, like, it's an action, so we could potentially add this to like it's not a trash card. It's just not good on its own. But if the effect is like deal 1 up to 3 units at the same location and draw a card for 1 energy, I could see it. Like I don't think it's a staple. I think if we lack good ways to trigger Ezreal's ability, we could see it. Gives you gold so you can make a janky 3-time time warp deck with perma cycling through your deck. Yeah, like this is probably what Renata is going to try and do, but this is not good. So as I was talking you through before, I thought blue reveals were disgusting, like not so good. Up until I saw that card. That card, I think, is cracked. Like, okay, it's either cracked or unplayable. But with the rate and like the amount of cards that are able to generate treasure tokens, like especially turn 1 cards, like we have a lot of turn 1s that will be able to generate treasure tokens that dropped, I think this card is cracked. So this card is Premonition, it's 2 energy for 3 power, so rather expensive power-wise, but very fine energy-wise. And this card says as a reaction that you can draw 3 cards. And that's about it. I think this is really, really strong. Most of the time, I don't think you are going to cast this card in like let's say a scenario in which you have options. Like you keep it in hand, you play 1 or 2 of these in your deck, you keep it in hand, and then you just like play your other cards, blah blah blah, up until you reach 2 situations. One of them is you are ahead, and like you can play these cards, accepting to recycle like potentially 1-2 runes because you have gold gear tokens because you are ahead. Then this is extremely variable, like 2 and 1 for 3 draw is crazy sick. Or you fell behind, you need card advantage to find a solution, and in that scenario, like power is way less important because we are already looking at like what's the end scenario of the game, and the fact that you only have to pay 2 energy to dig for 3 potential options to come back in the game is very good. Like let's say you have 7, 8, 9, 10 energy on board, and you just use 2 of them to draw 3 cards. That leaves you with like 8 energy open to play those cards that you just drew. Like I think it's very, very good. Oh, sorry, Kitty Cat wants to come in. Give me a second. Perfect, she's in. So I really do like that card. I really do think that card is strong. Don't think it's going to be a 3-off in most decks, but I think it's going to redefine the power level of drawing cards, even though it's kind of on par with what we've seen so far. Because remember, we've been talking about it a lot already on the channel, but basically in Riftbound, a power is equal to a draw. Kiana pays a power to be put into play, but when she conquers, you can draw. Clockwork allows you to recycle a green power to draw a card. Like the global rate for a draw is a power. So we are paying 3 powers to draw 3. Kind of fine, right? Yo, Super Sejin. Can't be defied like Consult the Past can't be also. Yeah, exactly. Like I do think this card is like rather strong. And I do think we are going to see some of them being played in blue lists. Especially because blue is a color that scales pretty well. You have access to Fox, you have access to Singularity, you have access to Retreat, to re-ramp them runes. You like blue has great ways of scaling in the game. So this, I would not be too surprised to see 1 or 2 of these in a lot of lists. This is why Jack's gonna be cracked. This Buru thingy? Don't think so. But like potentially. Buru Captain is a 3 might, 3 energy, and a power card. So not a good rate. Like not so good. But it's pretty good in what it does in its color. You have to put context around it to understand why it's good. So Buru Captain allows you, when it's played, to either draw 1 or buff itself. To be fair, if it was draw 1 or buff someone, it would have been cracked. Why is it good though? Because like this seems like not impressive. Like we already have Kiana and stuff that do this. So why like is it so impressive? Well, the cards that allow you to draw a card on play in orange, there are none of them, like legit none of them, except one that is not seeing play, which is a spell that says for 4 energy and a power you can draw 2, and if you kill the unit this turn, you can only pay 2 energy instead of 4. That's about it when it comes to drawing on play in orange. So like this is not good. Like orange is in another color, this is like average, not like super cracked. But in orange specifically, it's kind of good. And also, I think that flexibility of like either drawing one or in certain scenarios buffing it is also good, because then you can like drop it, buff it over Falling Star, which means it's 4 might now. So you basically played a 3 energy, 1 power, 4 might unit, which is a way better rate. And also as a buff, and as I told you before, it's better most of the time to have access to a like 2 might unit that goes up to 3 with a buff than directly a 3 might unit, or a 3 might unit that goes to 4 with a buff than directly a 4 might unit. Because you can pay 4 cards like War Up, potentially, because I'm thinking like this card is going to see play in set. Potentially you could also pay for Code to Glory, and so on and so on. So like this card is pretty good because it's orange, but it's also been designed that way because it's orange. So that makes sense, right? This card is pretty good overall. Yeah, you're right, Seijin. There's Confront too. You're right. There's Confront too. So there are Confront and the spare, I don't even know the name, which is 4 energy. Let's draw. Draw. Set 2. Origins. Like, yeah, this is never drawing. This is drawing but not on play. This is drawing but not on play. And then there's Confront, and Spoils of War is the name of the spell. So like, yeah, not good. Let me just... Spiritforged, I'm dumb. Oh? Where are we so far? Okay, great. Then we have Dauntless Vanguard, which is a 4 energy and a power 4 might unit. So once again, not a so good rate. And this card has, you may play me to an occupied enemy battlefield. So I made a banger tweet about it, which is Dead Meat Predator. I think someone called it Half Bloom Predator. I think it was Gyps. I think someone called it Dead Meat Predator. Basically, I think this card is shit. Like, forever. I don't think this card is ever going to be good. Like, why would you want some sort of Dead Bloom that's half Dead Bloom stats, still extremely expensive? Like, you'd rather have an Accelerate card, in my opinion. Like, this card is just shit. Someone told me, wait until whatever gives like +1 to elites or Dimeshes, then it's good. But even if it's like 5 might, I don't even think it's good. Like, it dies to so much, it's not strong enough. What's good with Dead Bloom is, 1, it has Deflect. So it's pretty good to like play around them battle tricks. And 2, it's big, like it's very fat. So if it attacks on a smaller battlefield, you are almost certain you will go through. This, if I use this on like Ravenbloom student, and my opponent is playing like whatever, Ari but without like Ornn. Like I was about to say Ari without Ari's effect, but like Ornn is perfect. My opponent is on Ornn. I use this on Ravenbloom, which is a turn 1, so I pay 4 energy and a power to deal with a turn 1. They use Engward, Ravenbloom is 5, I lost my body for nothing. Like, this card is not going to see play, in my opinion. Like, this is trash. Only a turn to play when opponent is tapped out, pretty much. Yeah, that's about it, and that's not a cool use case. Like, there are already a bunch of cards that do this on a better rate or with a more efficient effect. So, like, blah, let's not play this. Doran's Blade, we talked about it already. Veteran Poro, there's been a really cool video, which was, I think it was Wristbound Parlance. There is a cool video for that announcement. Yeah, I do like that card. So Veteran Poro is a 2/2, like it's very goofy. Veteran Poro is a 2 energy, 2 might unit. Unfortunately, it's very goofy visually. It's also not good, in my opinion, because it only has Weapon Master. Which makes sense in the way that, like, Poros, so far, aside from Blue Poro, which seems to be cracked for whatever reason, aside from Blue Poro, all Poros are like 2/2 and a keyword. Assault on yellow Poro, Shield on green, Vision on purple, Deflect on red, and then this one as Weapon Master. So, like, from a Poro perspective, makes sense. From a game perspective, this means that this card is not a turn 1. Because Weapon Master is, you can equip one of your equip that's already in play for a powerless. Which means you have to drop turn 1 an equip, then turn 2 Poro, equip the equip, and then turn 3 you can do something with like what? A 4 might Poro? Because you have an equip? Nah, not good. So the fact that it has Weapon Master is very weird to me, because then it makes it like, yeah, you basically can't play it as a turn 2 or it's a vanilla, which I don't like. So I don't think this card is good, unfortunately. I'm a big Poro fan. I love all of them. I love their design. I feel like not only are they cute, but they also bring cool game like deck building opportunities to the game. But also I think this one is the weakest by 4. And I'm not a fan of Red Poro, but this one is the weakest by 4, in my opinion. What about as a 2-drop in Lucian? But then you can't drop it on turn 1, which is like, meh. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Popcorn. It should have the next equipment that you play is something. Either 1 powerless or 1 energy less or whatever. I don't know. But like, yeah, it should do something on turn 1. It does not. So unfortunately, I don't see this card seeing play. That's about it. But I love it. It's goofy. It's like very, very goofy. I love it. Next card is Jawfish. So I know some people are hyped about that card. I'm not a big fan. Let's read through the effect. It's kind of convoluted, so try to get it. I don't think it's like very good. Yeah, Cat. Yeah, she's here. So Jawfish is a 7 energy 2 power unit that has 6 might, but also has accelerate. So technically, if you want to play it ready, you have to pay 8 energy and 3 power, which is extremely expensive for a 6 might unit, right? All the rules for equipments yet. I think most of them are out yet. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer. If I can't, we'll look over the internet for it. So technically you can accelerate this for 8 energy and 3 power. This card costs 2 less for each of your mighty units. Well, okay. So the idea, I think, is either you play this in like Set or Volibear or Fiora for an extremely cheap amount of energy in the late game, because you have to have a lot of mighty units. But then what's the swing of tempo that a 6 might unit brings you in that ultra late game? In my opinion, not enough. Like, I'd rather play a 8 energy 2 power White Flame Protector like every day of the week, rather than a 3 power 6 might accelerate energy. So I know some people are hyped about this card. I'm not. I think this card is not good. I think it's not going to see play. And if it sees play, I think it's a mistake. And basically, I just think like it's bait. It looks good at first, but it's not. Except if we have an ability that allows us to have a lot of mighty units. Like on turn 3, we already have like 3 mighty units on board. Then maybe. But aside from that, I don't see that card shining in the current format. This is one of the gold's payoff. I think it's more about having that many mighty units to have it at a fair rate. Like, if you want to accelerate it, having 1 mighty unit only makes it a 6/6 3 power card. So if you want to make it worth it, you need to have at least 2 mighty units already on board, so not dead, established, and then it's a 4 energy 3 power 6 mighty unit, which is like fine, but not even that good, right? So I don't like that fish. I don't think it's good. I think it's bait. One of the biggest baits I've seen so far on socials. I think there was a new code revealed there. Let me update. No, not yet. Or was it? I think there was. I have too many tweets in my notifications. Is this it? What the fuck? Just look at this, guys. Look at this beauty. Nah. Like that chord? That chord is dead as crazy. So that chord is part of the reprint series in a way of skins getting them Spiritforged. What's the name? Spirit Blossom skins on Spiritforged. But like this one is so sick. I do love that chord. It's like insane. Reminds me of Sun Wukong in a way, but also of that guy from Solo Leveling. They're signing the reprints too. Looks like it, right? This one is sick. What's the name of the white tiger guy in Solo Leveling? That guy. What's the name? Baek Yun-Oh. Baek Yun-Oh. I mean, yeah, there's definitely something. I see it. I do like it. Okay, so let's put this to the side for now, and we'll talk about this later. Let me just bring you guys up. Okay, perfect. Next chord revealed is Strike Down. At first, I thought this was an equip, because like Axe, it's not. So Strike Down is a spell that is 3 energy and a power, and that allows you to choose an equipped friendly unit and have it deal damage equal to its might to an enemy unit, then detaching an equipment from it. I don't see a scenario in which this chord is better than Challenge. Because, okay, Challenge both deal their damage to each other, right? But Challenge is 1, an action, and 2, you kinda only use it if you're certain you can kill, right? So that kinda has the same effect. I think Challenge is just an overall battle, and also it's cheaper. It's only 2 energy. So it has action, it is cheaper. I kinda don't see a way we value that card, because also the fact that we detach an equipment from it means we are going to have to pay to equip it again. Even if we do so with like Jax, we still have to pay an energy, right? Like it's not a power, it's not that bad. But this means that this chord, if we want to reattach them, is 4 energy and a power. And outside of Jax, it's 3 energy and 2 power if we want to reattach. So like, I don't think this chord is like super duper good. I think I'd rather prefer Challenge in most of them builds. And even if you play units that have like Weapon Master, and you are considering the fact that you are going to be able to like detach and attach to another unit, which you are not allowed to do mechanically. You can't detach an equip from a unit except by an effect. You can't do it manually. But like even if you consider that thing, Weapon Master can already pick from your already equipped units. So you can bring an already equipped equip to your Weapon Master. So I think like it's very extremely situational and like not so good, in my opinion, though. I'm assuming that this is going to be used for synergy with chords like Aphelios, where you want to attach and reattach equipment to it. Yeah, like I could see that, but also it's like it's not cheap, right? It's not like a cool chord like Stupefy that you play anyway, because like it does not do a lot, but it gives value to your strategy, right? It's not like it's too expensive to be situational useful. Don't like it. I think just Challenge is just a better chord overall. Might be wrong once again, but like it's just my personal analysis of the chords. Of course, you guys have the right to have your opinions. Disagree, org, whatever. Feel free. I don't know like everything there is to know. I just think like this chord is not good. This chord though, I do like it a lot. So Warmurk's Armor, I would have loved for this chord to be green, not gonna lie, but it totally makes sense that it's orange. So Warmurk's Armor is a 1 energy gear that you can equip for a power, so far really standard rates, but that also says when I conquer buff me and gives +1 might. And this is crucial to a lot of strategies. This is crucial to set. It's like already seeing play in set. Like there's no way this is not in set. By the way, remember that when a unit with a buff, with an equip is killed, that equip goes back to base. So like in set, this is potentially an infinite buff generator. This allows for Yellow Fiora to be mighty on play. This is crazy sick. Like, you play Warmog's armor going first, whatever. You play Warmog, then on 4 you play Fiora. You pay a power, equip Warmog, Fiora becomes mighty, she procs shield, deflect, and ganking. Fiora Legend procs, taps itself, re-ramps a rune, so you are still on curve. Like, this is crazy sick. This is an extremely strong court. And the fact that this gives buff when it's Conquer is just like that little thing that makes it go from an okay court to a very strong court. This is seeing play for sure in Jax, in Fiora, in Set. Just an extremely good orange staple. And also, pretty important that we talk about this, Fiora is going to be yellow-orange, right? Both colors, I think they are the only ones so far. I might be mistaken, but I think both colors are the only colors that have interactions that say, instead of paying the cost, you may spend a buff. In Wall Up, that restores a character, or a unit rather. In Call to Glory, which is +3 might. So not only does this generate that buff that you need to make these cards work properly, but this also makes Kiana mighty, which means you can proc Fiora. This makes Fiora yellow mighty, so you can proc Fiora. And even if you spend that buff, you still have access to shield, ganking, and deflect. This makes a lot of cards go from that not mighty status to that mighty status. And this is extremely good. Also something that we could see in set, very specific interaction, but in Monastery of Irana with orange sets, if you have to spend buff to push, like if you don't spend buff, you can just like push set, conquer, spend the buff, draw, rebuff, and that's it, right? If we are on Monastery and we have to spend the buff to push in there, we can gain the buff, spend it to draw, gain another buff, because orange set gains 1 and Warmog gains 1, and we still draw a card. So that adds a little bit of flexibility where it was needed, a little bit of stats where it was needed. I really do love that card. I really think this card is extremely strong. Makes them mighty instantly without the buff even. Yeah, exactly. You have a free buff to spend at will to pay for these cards, and Yellow Fiora is still mighty. So like, that's extremely strong. That's for sure a meta card. Like, no shot this is not. Grab your playset, guys. It's an uncommon. Equipment stays if the unit dies. Yeah, kinda. So basically, your unit is there, you equip it. You can't do anything to unequip it, except if you have cards that say so. But from a pure gameplay perspective, you can't do anything to unequip it. But then if your unit dies, this equipment returns to your base as a gear that you can equip again. I got an ad. Better drop that primer, huh? I'm going to explain right after the ad, don't worry. Just let me grab a sip, and we are going to explain it again during the ad. Don't worry. I closed it. Perfect time to clear my throat. So yeah, I do think this card is extremely strong. I do think it's going to be a playset in most meta decks that revolve around buff, but orange kinda revolves around might, so buff is part of it. And it's also a sick equip. I think one energy equips like this, like Doran Shield, are just extremely good overall staple that you value going second, because you can drop a turn to play plus the equip, but you also value them like in the long run, because once they are developed, like they are so cheap that once they are developed onto your board, you can just like gain value through the game, equipping again and again and again. And like, this is extremely good for a card that drops so early in the game. What was the answer? Gotcha. I waited for you. Better drop that prime next time. No pressure, just kidding. So there's a unit, you equip to it something. So you put it behind the cord, right? Nothing you can do to unequip it without an effect. You can't mechanically just take the cord and equip it, right? Either an effect says unequip, or then it stays there. But when the unit dies, so it goes to trash, that equip goes back to base, except it's written on the equip that it does something else. But like most of them, they go back to base, and then you can just pay the equip cost once again. So here it's a power to equip it to another unit onto your board. And so like once you've developed them early equips, like Doran Shield, like Warmug's armor, and so on, they are just going to give you recurring value during the game. And like that's extremely good. Extremely good. Thank you for the follow, brother. Gotcha. Next chord is Kato the Orb. Here to help, and Lucian's we knew about it already, but Kato we did not. This one, someone asked me if this chord I thought was good. Buru Captain. I thought I mixed up Buru Captain and Kato, whatever. And I said, oh no, Buru Captain is trash. Buru Captain is unplayable. But I was talking about this. And then I had to message them again and say, my bad. I was talking about this. So Kato is a 3 might, 4 energy, and a power unit that has deflect. So remember that pattern of like trying to counter Kaisa in a way with like deflects and stuff. Kato falls into that category right away. Having the deflect. Like it's a target to Falling Star, but it has that deflect. And then it says, when I move to a battlefield, give a friendly unit my keywords and plus might equal to my might this turn. Maybe I suck at analyzing. Haha, why do you say so, Popcorn? Main decking 3 adaptatron every game, I guess. You gonna probably have to main deck or at least sideboard a lot of gear 8. Yeah, exactly. So when I move to a battlefield, give a friendly unit by keywords and plus might equal to my might this turn. This looks abusable. Yeah, exactly. This looks abusable. That's the only thing it's good at. What comes to mind is it's abusable in Fiora. Because you have a turn 3 unit that can potentially give itself, because it's a friendly unit, not another friendly unit. So like you drop this on turn 2/3, then you push, then it gives itself its like might and keywords, and it's 6 might now, it becomes mighty, you can proc Fiora. So I think it's specifically Fiora is playable. In other decks though, you already have better options that if they stay on board, they do something. And most of them are not even good enough. Yeah, I guess it potentially not double deflect. I don't think it will have double deflect. Because you give the keyword, but I don't think you add the keyword. Like, I'm not certain actually. Potentially it has double deflect. Could be good in MF, it gives 2 things ganking instead of 1. Yes, but then you have to move it to a battlefield, so you would have to give it ganking, then move it like alone to give ganking to another one, then push with the other one, so it's kind of convoluted in a way, right? So the thing is, like most of them units that are on that like 4 energy and a power curve in orange are not good. I'm talking Kiana especially. Kiana is like seeing play, but while it was considered as like a super strong staple card at the very beginning of the set, it's now more of a like, we don't have another mid-game body, so we might as well play Kiana, but it's not a must. Cases most of the time are pretty happy paying 1 or 2 deflects to kill Kiana. But the big problem with Kiana is it's 4 might, this one is only 3. So like let's say they use Falling Star, they recycle 2, they kill this and another body, like they are fine with that for sure. They don't mind paying that extra deflect. Like we have to stop thinking that deflect is absolute into Kaisa. Or like Blast Spell as a whole, but like it's obviously worse into Kaisa because the legend can pay part of it. And it's very, very slow. So like you can definitely abuse this. I do agree with you, Popcorn, in that sense. But as long as you don't abuse it, I think it's not good. And then you potentially can use it to abuse it. But it's not good, in my opinion. Like it's not an overall good card. The only way you make it pretty decent is abusing it. It's also sovereign cross turn buff. Yeah. Like it's Kiana, right? Like, it's going to conquer once and die. And most likely, if it does not die, it means that you are winning that game because they don't have what it takes to trade your mid game. Which most of the time, winning the mid game, in Respawn is winning the game. Because like this gives you such an advantage going into late game that like, yeah, they basically have to be able to trade your mid game, or then you won the game. So yeah, I don't think that card is like super good. I'd rather play Kiana, and you guys know I don't really like Kiana. Something that I really do like though in orange is this card, Yoni. Ride the Wind It though. We are going to talk about that for sure. So Yoni is a 5 energy and a power 5 might unit, champion unit actually. And is also the missing legend. Like, you guys knew potentially there was a Yoni on the box. People were thinking Yoni was going to be one of the 12 legends in the set. It was already like quote unquote confirmed, leaks, blah 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 blah, whatever. We confirmed last week that we don't have a Yoni legend in set 2, but maybe later on we'll have one. That being said, we get a champion with the art that we were expecting for the legend. So, like, makes sense, right? They released a champion, Yoni is a popular character, so they put it in the box, like, makes sense. This Yoni is Weapon Master. So, basically, it has quote-unquote no power cost, because then you can just, like, drop it and equip a unit without paying the power cost. So it kind of refounds for that power cost, if you see what I mean. Like, it has a power cost, but it's mitigated in a way. And then it reads, when I conquer an urban battlefield, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit in a base. And that is correct. This is a card that's going to apply a lot of pressure. Also, most of them equips that we've seen so far give about 2 or more might, and having a unit at 7 might in the game is extremely strong. Fox is super strong, like 7 and above, of course. 8 might units are super strong, but like 7 is a very strong number. It goes above Singularity, it goes above triple ping from Ikesan Rain, it goes above double falling star. So like, don't underestimate the difference in between 6 might and 7 might. It's really the key to like overcoming some of them big meta staples. And then the ability to deal damage to a unit in a base is something that Orange had an extremely tough time doing. The only relevant card that was doing so was Challenge. And so a lot of them Orange decks kinda don't want to recycle to play Challenge, but at the same time they don't have an option, because else they lose matchups in which opponent is stacking in base. And they have no way to do anything about that, right? So I really do like that Yoni, because it allows Orange to do that. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, most likely this card is going to be broken, like, I'm weighting my words, broken as in cracked strong, when associated with accelerate cards. Because now, if you are playing against Body, and you know they have ways to accelerate, as in like Confront accelerates everyone, Warhop accelerates everyone, First Mate accelerates everyone, potentially they play like Yellow, they have like Ride the Wind, moves everyone around, like whatever. There are several ways to accelerate cards. Like, this is going to apply pressure that they just have an equip in base, and you know that they can kill potentially anything with like 6, 7, 8 might in your base. So like, they could kill Darius, they could kill Fox in base, like they could kill Yellow Victor if you're on Victor, like they could kill a lot. So the fact that this can go to 7 might on play, and they potentially have an opportunity to accelerate this is correct. This is super, super strong. Just a bit slow, but the fact that it goes to 7 on play most of the time, in my opinion, makes it like, it's fine. It's fine to be slow. Like, the payoff is so good if you manage to keep this on board. And also, remember that Orange is the color that has access to Unyielding Spirit, which means if your opponent's only way to deal with that card, because it's 7 might, is to commit a huge spell, like Ikaisen Rain or something like that, and you just use Unyielding to protect it, that game is almost over. So I really do love that chord. I think it's going to warp parts of the meta, part of the way you approach body decks in the future. Yeah, it's like super, super good. It's super, super cracked. Jax just feeds him Zonies and Guardian Danger all game, insane protection. Yeah, like, this is pretty good. Why is it saying open base? Open base? Enemy unit in a base. Open base? What do you mean open base? Not sure what you mean, Jakob. MF wants this with ganking. I think a lot of decks want this to be fair. Like, this is super strong. This is super, super good. Like, this is a crack chord, actually. And the rate is good. Like, once again, Weapon Master kinda mitigates for the power cost. So basically, you are dropping a 5/5 unit, which is like super good, obviously. When I conquer an open battlefield. Oh, so this means that one of the battlefields has to be empty. Yeah, exactly. Battlefield with no unit is open battlefields. Exactly. But like, okay. So this is a part that I did not talk about. I feel like I have to, because that makes sense what you're saying right now. Body is like, so orange is like super good at fighting for battlefields. One thing that, like, for example, sets wants you to do is they want you to conquer fields so they can swing back with their orange set. Then you swing back into set, but the difference is the unit they swinged at is dead. And when you swing into their set goes back to base and does not die, right? This is what they want to do. So the fact that this card exists implies that you most likely can't, or at least have to consider the fact that if you take a setup turn, quote unquote, so like you drop units in base, preparing for next turn, but you're leaving up on battlefields, if they have a Yone accelerated, you most likely lost that game. Because they conquered, they killed your base, they are most likely going to ult, at least one of both, because you can't contest Yone plus an equip plus something. Like, it's so strong. It's super, super strong. So open battlefield nerfs the court. Hopefully, I'd say, because else it would be like out of this world broken. But it's still a very good court. And it's going to pressure a lot how you have to play the mid game against body, like orange in general. Next chord is Jax Unrelenting, and it's Alt Art, which once again, like, no flame intended on like them League Splash Team stuff, but I tend to prefer the original one to like the alt one. Same for like Yellow Victor, same for like Blue Victor. Like, I tend to prefer the OG ones. Yeah, regular art better, exactly. That's my point. Like, I feel like this card is sick. Like, it's pretty sick looking. So Jax is a 4 energy and a power unit that you can drop with 3 might. Pretty expensive. Most of the time you have 4 energy, 3 might, and a strong effect and no power cost. This one is extremely expensive. Hopefully, like, it has Weapon Master, so it once again kinda mitigates that power cost. There's a difference though, in like, you are playing Jax, so you are most likely not paying costs to equip them equips. Whereas Yone, I feel like you could value Weapon Master in any orange deck basically. I think this one is more of a Jax card. So Weapon Master has a bit less value on this one than on others, but like, it's still good. And this one says, when you attach an equipment to me, you may pay an energy to draw 1. I think it's like not super good. Like, it's even like, let's say, not good, not very good. Because like, you can drop it for 4 and a power, once again. Then you proc Weapon Master, you equip. Then you pay another energy, so now you paid 5 energy and a power. And you draw 1. And you have something like a 5 might, potentially 6 might unit because of the equip. But also you had to pay to play the equip before ends. Because Jax allows you to equip, not paying power, and unequip, but does not allow you to reduce the on-play cost of the cards. So like, I kinda don't like this card. I think it's a bit too expensive. If it was a 3 energy, then I would be down. I would be kinda down. The only way I could see it work properly is like, you value it through attaching a lot of equips through the game, which I think it's going to be good in that scenario, in like Jax. But then if your deck is equipped turbo, which Jax is kinda condemned to be that. Like there's no way Jax is something else that equipped turbo with like 10 or more equips in the deck and you just want to equip. And then you draw a lot. It kinda makes sense. But also you get sent into oblivion by like Salvage, Thermal Beam. Like this makes the strategy so like dedicated to one thing that any counter I feel like kinda kills you like straight up. So I would not say I hate that card. I just think it's a bit expensive. Base 3 might is a joke. Yeah, it's either like 4-4, then I could see it, or 3-3, then I could also see it. But like 4-3, then you have to pay to draw. I'm not so sure I do love it. Or no power cost, yeah, exactly. Or no power cost. Like, I just think there's a tad bit too much in that you have to pay ports. You want to shuffle the equipments around and draw multiples probably. Yeah, I could see that, right? But that requires a lot of setup. That means that you have to have first you have to draw several equipments, then you have to play them, then you have to not get them removed, and then in the end you are just wasting energy or like using energy to draw cards, which in body is not like trash. But also you play Calm, and Calm is good at drawing cards. So I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, and I don't like the fact that it's 3 mites. So yeah, I would not say like big fan. I would for sure have preferred something like when you attach an equipment to me, you may pay 1 to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and like stack deck, quote unquote, and add an equip from them 3 cards to your hands. Like this, I would have loved. Something like, yeah, when you equip to me, pay an energy, look at the top 3, select an equip, add it to your hands. This would have been good. Because then you can play some of them one-off equips to adapt to several scenarios and try to like have a more flexible build. But like, yeah, I don't think that way it's like super good. You won't be able to pay 1 going first for the draw on equip because it costs 4. Yeah, exactly. Like this is kinda slow and kinda expensive. We analyze it so differently. I think turn 1 you equip, turn 2 you jax, turn 3 you equip twice and draw. Yeah, I could see that, but then it has not to die. It's 3 turns to drop a like 5 might unit with the equip, maybe 7 if you have 2 equips on it. It's like not sick as hell. And then like let's say you play into yellow, they have Salvage to kill the equips. They have Hidden Blade and Cold Week to kill the Jax. Like there are so many things you have to be wary about. I kinda don't like it. Next card though. This one I love a lot. It's Code Shot. I think this card is correct. I think it's like, you guys might notice that I tend to have a bias towards draw power. I think draw power and card advantage is crack as fucked into like any game, any TCG. Like I think card advantage is basically the like what makes the difference between a super strong deck and like a viable deck into most of them games. And this card is like exactly what we want in a card advantage sense. So Code Shot is a card that is 0 energy and a power, is an action, and has the repeat feature. So you can pay 2 power to use its effect twice, but still 0 energy, right? You get me? And this card reads, look at the top 2 cards of your main deck, draw 1 and recycle the other. So if you use the effect twice, you look at 4 cards and you pick 2 of them and you add them to your hands. Well, there are a lot of strong applications. First of all, it makes card advantage. Big difference with stack deck. Stack deck is a 1-for-1 card. You pay an energy, you trash stack deck, you replace it with a better card. This one, through repeat, is card advantage. Second, allows you to see 4 cards from the top of your deck. Be careful about Nocturne, because at some point, if we have enough cards to stack the top of the deck several times, Nocturne is going to be cracked. Like, we are going to be able to find it basically every game. And like, so strong. Next, it's already, I can tell you that, it's already completely crack-ass busted in Sever. Like, Sever with this in the mid-game is cracked. Like, this is cracked. Sever, as a reminder, is like, when you pay a power, you can generate a treasure token for next turn, right? Let's say you pay a power in the mid-game to play Kien, okay? Next turn, you have like 5 runes, whatever. You can just use Cold Shot, tap your treasure token, repeat, pay a power, generate a treasure token for next turn. Through Sever's effect. Like, this is crazy busted. Like, basically for free, quote unquote, you draw 2 out of the top 4 cards of your deck. Like, yeah. And 0 energy, exactly. So you can still have your runes open to play them cards in the mid game. This is a cracked ass card. Also in Teemo, it's free because it stacks the trash for Mundo. Like, it's just so good. Like, it's insane. Also, searchers don't exist in that game. Like, we don't have searchers yet. So this is what comes close to what a potential searcher could be. As in, like, look the top 5, search for whatever archetype or something. So, like, yeah, this card is just cracked. I don't see a way this card is not played. In my opinion, it's potentially a 3-off in, like, any purple deck. 0 energy also means that in the late game, if you have to look for a specific card, like, let's say a Fox in Teemo or a Mundo or whatever, like a Mind Splitter because you need to play around something your opponent potentially has, or like whatever, Aurora into MF. Like, you want to look for Aurora into MF on 9 runes, you tap all your runes, generate floating mana, then you look at 4 to dig for Aurora for free, and if in any of them is Cold Shot, you can pick it again and use 2 extra runes and still no energy to dig for 4 more. Nah, this is cracked. Like, this is cracked. This is completely cracked. Like, this card is out of this world. Like, there's no way this does not see play. Like, I'm being real with you guys. This is cracked. Like, this is cracked as fuck. I would love a signature spell, see the stores, look at top 10, pick 1 and put it into your hands. It would have to be expensive there. It would have to be expensive. But I could see that. Can we finally see orange-purple mid-range deck that is not Aurora? I think it's extremely strong in Aurora, but I think it's just basically extremely strong in, like, any strategy. Like, this is cracked. This is completely cracked. There's no way this does not see play. Then last week we missed Doran's Ring, though. Also made a banger tweet on the matter, because, like, I think I was the only dumbass on Earth that did not notice Doran Ring is purple. Like, doesn't, like, Doran Ring has to be blue, no? Or am I the only one that's, like, in the league metrics and is like Doran Ring is blue? Because, like, for sure Doran Ring is AP, like, gives you mana. Everything mana related in league is blue. Doran Ring's picture is blue. I was like 100% certain I could have, like, put money on the line that Doran Ring was going to be blue, and for some reason it's purple, which, okay, I guess. I don't think it was impossible to make it a blue card neither, but, like, whatever. So Doran Ring is purple. It's a 1 energy, 0 power equip that you equip for a power, and then it gives a might, and it gives when I conquer, discard 1, then draw 1. First thing that comes to mind, this card is basically making everybody traveling merchants, which I like, but giving you value throughout the game. Like, you use that unit to conquer, discard 1, draw 1, then your unit gets traded, because, like, it conquered, then this goes back to base, and if you need to cycle again, you can just equip it again and, like, cycle again, basically. So I like it. I think Doran's Ring is great. Most of Doran's equips are great actually. Probably Doran Blade is not super good, but Doran Ring is great, Doran Shield is great. Also Warmug's Armor is great. Like all of them cheap equips are pretty good. I do like that chord. There's something I want to warn you about, which I think has potential. It's this. These chords. So I did try to make a Yasuo build viable in set 1 using these chords. I tell you what, if you equip Doran Ring to this chord, we have a problem. Because this chord is when you discard 1 or more chords, ready me and give me +1. So if you equip Doran Ring to it, it's now a 6 might chord. Then that when it moves, Doran, when it conquers, sorry, discard 1, draw 1. So then you untap it, then you bring it back to base. And the thing that I like with this is like I tried to make this work in a Yasuo build with like Traveling Merchant and Yasuo. Merchant, this guy. So this guy is when I move discard 1, draw 1. Theory was like you play it on turn 1, then you play Jinx, you move Merchant, that withstands Jinx, Jinx goes all over the board, then you drop Yasuo's effect, you bring back Merchant, you discard 1 that withstands Jinx, you bring Jinx back to base, and like you have this pattern of like going all over the board. Doran Ring might add up to this, and the only way this was not sufficient to be good is because we did not have like super good discard cards, and so if you don't see Merchant, Jinx is not good enough. But in a scenario in which we have Doran and stuff, potentially we could see a combo like that, and like that purple Jinx, I would advise you like make your own financially responsible decisions, but I would advise you to grab a playset of that purple Jinx while it's still cheap, because I think it's going to see play at some point. I think it's a good card, and potentially Doran Ring could help in that matter. Next card is Loyal Pop. Loyal Pop is a 3 energy, 3 might unit that says when you defend at a battlefield, you may move me there. I think this card is S. I just don't see it, guys. I don't see the vision. Like this is not a turn 1, except if you're going second, but then if you're going second, you are not defending because you are the one attacking to regain that tempo, that points lead. So like this is most likely a turn 2, going first, I guess. But then if you really want to defend, like might as well drop it in the battlefield directly, right? Like if it's there, they are like, spoiler alerts, they have the right to read your cards. So like they can look at your base and say, Loyal Pop can jump in. Let's not attack that battlefield this turn because I'm going to lose, and attack the other one instead. And like, yeah, like this card is trash. I don't see that card seeing play. This is just not good. I might be wrong, but I just think it's bad. On a way, maybe in Teemo Tide Turner combo? Nah. Nah, it's not seeing play in Teemo. You have way better cards in Teemo already than this. Blech. Next card is Treasure Hunter on a way better note. We have had a lot of turn 1s being revealed to us. The first one was the Blue Poro, which is like when I conquer, you may generate a treasure, like gold gear token, whatever. The thing that allows you to pay a power for free, basically. This seemed super strong, but now with the knowledge that we have, we also can put perspective on it. Because like when you conquer, it's not like super giga easy to do. It's like easy, but not free. And we now have several turn 1s that allow you to play gold gear token even like in an easier fashion than Blue Poro. This one is one of them, Treasure Hunter. Warning, this card in Yasuo is correct. It's correct. This card in Yasuo is just completely correct. Like you drop it, turn 1, you drop this card, then turn 2 it withstands, you get in the battlefield, it conquers, generates a token, Yasuo's legend ability comes back, generates a token, it's in your base. Next turn, if they don't use a spell to clear a 1 might unit in your base, Discord generated 3 tokens. So like in Yasuo, it's completely cracked. Outside of Yasuo, it's a good court overall. My boy, your boy Yasuo? Yo, Crispy, how you doing, brother? In Yasuo, Discord is like unbelievably cracked. In other purple decks, it's a good court. It's a good way, like, a turn 1 that generates a power will always be good. There's no way Discord is not good. But in Yasuo, just, like, be wary, guys, be wary. Because in Yasuo, it's illegal, what this will allow you to do. What deck am I bringing to Houston? Same question again and again, huh? No decision made yet. What are we on? Kaisa? Ari? Set, potentially? Ari has a good set matchup. If you want to meta call, there are going to be a lot of sets in Houston because Set has been doing tremendously well this week. You bring Ari, you main deck them Rune Prison. Game over. And he's cool too. Yo, Yuko, how you doing, my brother? How you doing? Swifty is gonna break Yasuo into S tier copium. I think Discord breaks Yasuo into S tier way more than Discord. Like, this is correct in Yasuo, guys. JK, love you, brother. Same, brother. Same. You've been one of the first NA people to support me. Like, means the world. Thank you, brother. So Boots of Sweetness are a 3 energy gear that you can pay a power to equip, and it has the ganking. It gives the ganking keywords and 2 might. Rather simple, actually not good, I would say. Extremely slow, extremely expensive, implies that you are not playing a unit in the mid game because you drop this, right? And like ganking, either you play MF, you can already give it to everyone basically, so like does not make sense to play this, or like you are a ride the wind deck, and then you already have ganking on your units. Vi already has ganking, Kane already has ganking. One of the big problems of MF that like tempo build MF in a way is that most of the good MF units already have ganking. Orange MF has ganking, Kane has ganking. So like I don't think you really care so much about giving ganking to someone. Whereas like having a cheaper equip as like those that we saw earlier, like Doran Ring, allows you to do something your color does not do like extremely well or on a regular basis. So I like kinda don't see this card in play. Darius ganking. Yeah, Darius ganking is strong, but like if we are talking Darius ganking, it like this means we are playing Annie, and like Annie is Ride the Wind Turbo, right? So like as long as we play a deck that is valuing Ride the Wind will always be a better card than this one. Green Yasuo though, I could see it, but also Yasuo kinda gives pseudo ganking because like you are in battlefield, then he moves you back to base and you move yourself to the other one. So does anyone have a tempo MF list? I don't have one of these. Sorry, Ray. Sorry. Next card though, and so far purple was one of the worst colors at dropping turn ones. Traveling Merchant is sometimes awkward, and purple Poro, so Vision Poro, was probably the worst one so far. Tell you what, they made up for it. Like set 2 turn ones in purple are cracked as F. Overzealous, we talked about it already, it's strong. Treasure Hunter, it's very strong. And Winged Singer, when I saw that card, I was like, bruh. Like, I was legit shook that this card was the way it is. So 1 might for 2 energy, it's a unit, basically. That has the hidden keywords, so you can use it for 0 energy and just a power. And it reads, when you play me, you may return another unit at a battlefield with 3 might or less to its owner ends. Like, this is correct. Like, this is completely correct. One of the big problems in the current format, and what can make losing the dice roll sometimes feel unfair, is Master Yi. Because Master Yi, when they drop Poro and they occupy a battlefield in the early game, it takes you a lot of time to come back from that. Because like Poro is so strong. Even like them worse units in like Pit Rookie or Clockwork, they are so strong at holding because mastery. With this card though, you can just drop this, bounce this to Ant, and they can't even defy. Because like they don't have, it's not a spell. They don't have the opportunity to defy. So like, yes, it's like super, super strong. Also, it's a turn 1 unit. So you're fine with like dropping it turn 1 as a vanilla. It's better than having a ghost in Ant that you can't use. Like, you have a ghost that you can't use, it's useless. Like, the card does nothing. You have a Windsinger that you can't proc the effect of. Like, it's fine. You just drop a body, you can conquer turn 1. If you're Teemo, that means that you can hide cards. If you are playing equips, it means you have a target to equip to. Blah, 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 blah. Like, basically, it's just pretty good. It's just a pretty good card. The hidden feature, though, I don't think matters that much. Because, like, you only really want to hide this card in the late game, in my opinion. But then, it means, like, they kinda have bigger units already. The only way I could see this hidden feature useful is in Teemo. Like, you hide this from your hand, and then if they're Yi and they want to push with something like a Poro, something with Engwards or like something like that, you can basically just like wait for them to use Engwards and then flip Windsinger as a reaction to bounce it before Engward resolves. Which is not like trash, but I don't think the hidden feature is the highlight of the card. I just think like the overall effect and the fact that it's a body just makes it good. So like, if we were to rank them, I think this is top 1, strongest, top 2, and top 3 in terms of turn 1s for purple. But like all of them were good. You probably play like 3 of these, and then 2 of these, or like maybe 3 if you really want to have a turn 1. That would make sense, but I really do love these cards. Purple Irelia we knew about already. Then we have Switcheroo. So Switcheroo is a 2 energy, 2 power unit, spell, which has kind of a goofy look, goofy ugly, I guess. It's an hidden spell, so it also has that hidden feature. It's an action 2, and you can use it to swap the might of 2 units at the same battlefield this turn. It is kind of funny in the way it works, but in my opinion, it's almost the exact same chord as Convergent Mutation. These chords. Well, not completely, because like Switcheroo can target opponent's chord, whereas Convergence is just your chords. But they are kind of gimmicky chords that require a lot of setup to work properly, and when they work, they probably feel good. But like for 2 energy and 2 power, I'd rather play Rebuke, take your unit and send it back to your hand, than just like switching the might and then maybe you use Smokescreen and I still lose, right? So I think like it's gimmicky. I would not say it's a good chord. I don't think it's going to see play. Maybe if you are trying to like play a fun deck, you could include this, but I don't think it's good by any means. Once again, in my opinion, might be wrong. Then we have Draven, and once again, I tend to prefer the regular art. Might be biased, potentially, because like I do this every time, but I think I prefer this art too. So this Draven is the second champion that we know of for red-purple Draven. We already knew about the red one, which is really strong. And let me tell you what, the red one is going to be the one seeing play. This one is not good. Like, this one is not seeing play, in my opinion. This Draven is a 6 energy, 6 might unit that costs a power. As I was talking about earlier, it has that pattern of like, Kaisa was strong in set 1, so we noticed, and we added deflect to them bodies that are mid-game-ish, even though this one is a bit expensive. But that's the point, you want to drop it in mid-game. And this Raven says, the first time I win a combat each turn, you score 1 point, and when I die in combat, choose an opponent, they score 1 point. What counts as combat? Combat showdown or combat damage? Combat showdown. You can bounce stuff and you still want a combat. This is not good. Basically, like the fact that you want to use this card to score extra points, at the risk of giving your opponent extra points means that you are on an aggro deck. So far, Annie seems to be the only viable one. Potentially, Draven could be one of these. But like, this means that you are playing full on aggro, and that scoring points and closing that game earlier benefits you more than it benefits your opponent, right? Which makes sense. But then, if you're playing an aggro deck, I think there's no way that you want to skip a full turn in the mid game to drop this guy sleeping in base, pass turn, let your opponent build something, and then like you can push with it. Highly predictable, not strong enough. Aggro decks most of the time don't have like 8 runes to use this plus ride the wind. Like, this is too expensive to accelerate it. And also, one of the big problems of this Draven is that it has like chords that do just about the same, like on its curve. You never want to play, in my opinion, a 6 might tapped Draven when you can play Darius plus something. Which basically, Darius plus something is like play a second chord, like let's say cleave, on tap, conquer, score. So compared to playing a tapped unit in base, you got an extra point, right? This Draven is like play, do nothing, so no score, -1, and then next turn, score 2. But then the next turn, you can also score again with like Darius, right? Requires that Darius is not dead, but exact same for Draven. If you want to score it with it next turn, it requires that the Draven is not dead, say. Like, kind of the same. So, I just feel like on turns on which you can play Vi Ride the Wind, you can play Darius Cleave, you can play like so much of these good chords, I just don't think you are willing to play that Draven. It's way too slow. If this chord was like 3 to 4 energy, let's say 4, so we still keep it at some kind of a balanced power level. 4 energy, even a power if you will, 4 energy and a power, 3 might, or 4 might, deflect, first time I would combat each turn you score a point, completely different. Because then on 6 you can Draven, Ride the Wind, you can like use chords to move it around the board, you can use chords to buff it, like cleave, like this is so much better. But in that spot of 6 energy, you have way better chords to drop, in my opinion. Thanks for the follow, Morgoth. Welcome to the crew, brother. Thanks for defying me on the purple jinx. I just sniped 3 old orcs for 750 each with 7 euros track chipping. Nice. On me if it ends up not being played. But I think this card has at least the potential to be considered a potential staple at some point. And you should grab them while they're cheap. Because if they don't get reprinted, the day they become playable, they are going to be expensive. So, like, I think you should just, like, grab them. I have mine somewhere for, like, the future. I have a playset of this for the future. Next chord and last purple chord, and then I'm just going to go grab a drink because I don't have water anymore. But last purple chord before we switch to yellow is Last Rites. Last Rites is a 3 energy gear that costs a power to equip and also costs you, or requires you rather, to recycle 2 chords from your trash on equipping. So like you equip, you pay a power, you recycle 2. If you equip through Weapon Master, you still have to recycle 2 cards from your trash, right? Basically does not mean nothing. Like, it's not so much of a cost, except if you're on a Mundo strategy, and then playing this card does not make sense. But aside from that, like, it does not matter, basically. It does not change anything. This card gives 2 might, and also reads, when I conquer or hold, you may play a unit from your trash. I don't think it's good. I think it's borderline unplayable, in the sense that you don't ignore the cost, which is the big part, right? Cards that allow you to play X from somewhere with either reduced costs or ignoring costs are like super duper good, right? If you, please cat, be nice. if you have to pay the cost, it instantly gets worse. First of all, like this is the first big problem. Second big problem is it's a 3 energy equip that so far does not synergizes with like any of the cheater for equipments. Like does not synergize with Ornn, does not synergize with Jax. So like you will have to pay the full cost. And then that also means that you want to play it on a big body, because then you want it to either conquer or ult. So you're in that spot of like, you have to pay the full cost, but you have to have a full body on board already that's able to conquer basically whatever you want to conquer, and then potentially ult to make value of the cord. So you have to have that big body, but then you have to drop this 3 energy equip. And then if you want to value it, you also have to have the runes needed to play the cords you want to play from the trash. Either you end up just like playing a 2-drop or something, it's bad, or you have the runes to play a big cord that actually swings the momentum, and then it becomes kinda good. So like I feel this requires way too much setup. I don't see it shining. I just think like this is one of them epics that you will not want to open in your packs. This is going to be like 4 or 5 euros and like probably not seeing played. Minimum 3 cords in trash is also a drawback. Kind of, but also in purple, you don't have a problem generating cords in trash. So like, in my opinion, this port is like whatever. The recycle 2 cords is like, whatever. Cords that are free from grave. Yeah, if we somehow get cords that are free from grave, I don't even think it's that good, because it's still like super duper slow. But I think it's like okay-ish, I guess. I don't think it's like good though. Yeah, I don't like it. Let me just grab some water, and then I'm coming back, because we have them yellow cards to talk about, and then we also have to talk about the cards that were revealed but are not in the gallery yet. What the fuck, bro? Like, let me breathe. Let me just get some water, and I'm coming back to you. Okay, back at it. Let me just grab a sip, and then we're getting started with yellow. Thanks for the follow, Bender. Welcome home, brother. So, let's get started. Honest Broker, first yellow card, I think is the best turn 1 in the set, and I think it's likely that it's going to stay that way no matter what turn 1s are released in the upcoming days. Honest Broker is a 2 energy, 2 might card that has Death Knell, play a gold gear token exhausted. And basically, I think it's the only turn 1 so far that I don't see how you avoid your opponent generating a token with it. Like, Blue Poro, when I conquer, generate a power. Well, you can just extecorate it, Void Seeker it, whatever. Like, you have outs, basically. Purple Dudes, when I move, generate a token, has potential to scale better than this one, but also can be cleared in base. Like, there are cores that will allow your opponent to deal with it. These cores, at some point, they're going to have to kill it. Like, they're going to have to get rid of it, else you're scoring points and stuff. And then Death Knell, you play Gold Gear. So this is already good. Also, the fact that it has Death Knell gives it potential to work with Cardus. Cardus says Death Knell trigger twice. So you play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. And I think this is also something that we have to not underestimate. Because in the future, we are going to see I think a Death Knell list pop off. Whether we have to wait for the purple yellow legend and then we have yellow that makes for the Death Knell stuff and purple that just brings them back to the board again and again. But I think at some point we are going to see a Death Knell list pop off, and I think Discord is already a strong asset for that kind of deck. It's just like super good overall. I don't think there's much to explain. It's just like super good. This is super big, but it's actually not super good. Yeah, Chorus Fodder, exactly. BF Swords is a 4 energy gear with no power cost on play, but you still need to pay a power to attach it. And then it gives +3 might to one of your units. It's just meh. It has no effects. It's vanilla gear, basically. On 4 energy, you can drop a lot that makes sense and applies pressure to the board. That is not BF Swords. And if you want to equip it, you pay a power. So basically, you just paid the exact same amount of resources as if you played Kiana. But like Kiana applies a ton more pressure than this, and I don't even like Kiana that much. So I just think like Discord is not so good. The only thing it's better than Kiana at is applying pressure like for the full game duration, because then you can just equip it, and so on and so on. Like, that would make sense. But I don't think that's good enough. Like, skipping a turn, basically, because in the mid game, if you want to drop this to have value of it, like for the full game, you have to drop it in the mid game, and then it's too expensive. You skip a turn, it's not good enough. Yeah, it's in set 4 most likely that we have opposite colors. You are right on that. Next is Unsung Hero. Another turn 2 that is 2 energy, 2 might. That also has a Death Knell, but this one is if I was mighty, draw 2. So far, the only way of making this card mighty efficiently is Call to Glory. That gives +3, then it goes to 5, then it's mighty. That being said, it's kinda hard to set up, kinda expensive. So I'd much rather prefer Death Knell generate a treasure token that's always going to proc than this, which in my opinion is most likely going to die as a vanilla with no effect. So I don't think it's like that valuable. I think I prefer Brute, so Soaring Scout. I think I prefer the just turn 1 that we saw that just generates a power. And I think I also prefer the Assault Poro in yellow. So I don't think this card is going to see play. I think like on paper it seems good, but it's not. Yeah, exactly, this is bait, in my opinion. Except if you have a consistent way of buffing it, like Legend or something. But like a Legend that would give +3 might would be like just straight up cracked, so not sure. Then we have a gear, Altar of Memories. So it's a 2 energy gear with no power cost that reads, when a friendly unit dies, you may exhaust me to draw 1, then put a card from your hand on the top or bottom of your main deck. So the idea is, I guess, you want to kinda play it in Rek'Sai, most likely, because Rek'Sai has some of them cards that say, when you play me from top of deck, you play me for a cheaper rate of energy. So you don't want to open them, and if you open them, you can just play this, then stack them on top of deck, and like cycle, basically. I could see that, but also this card does not generate card advantage. Like, you draw 1, but you also place a card from your hand on top or bottom of your main deck. If it was... Sorry, let me just release the cat. Oh, baby. Okay, great. If it was the other way around, you could use Altor, as in like you resolve the port that allows you to put a card on top or bottom of your deck without having cards in your hand, so you don't resolve it basically, and then you resolve the draw port. Then that would make sense. But the way it's worded right now, I just don't think this card is good enough. I think it's too slow, and I think Rek'Sai will have way more than enough dig power in a way that you don't want to play these cards. I might be wrong there, but I think it's just too slow. Red Rek'Sai reveals. I don't think there's any extra... Oh, there's Fiora though. So how about Yeah, and there's battlefields too. At least one of them. So how about we do the remaining courts and we end up with yellow Rek'Sai and then we jump to red Rek'Sai to like make the bridge. You guys down? Like we see all of them remaining courts, like there's 2 of them I think, and then we do yellow Rek'Sai into red Rek'Sai. Down? Kind of create card advantage because the card isn't actually gone with all these top deck effects. Yeah, it's like not gone, but it's too slow. Sure, yes, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So let's skip Rek'Sai and then we do yellow into red, okay? Fiora, super duper strong. Super duper strong. So actually, I was not convinced, like I was not a Fiora believer. I have to say, sorry, Kitty Cat wants to come in again. I have to say I was not a Fiora believer. I don't think the legend is so good. But what they are surrounding it with is probably going to make Fiora a hell of a strong legend. So this Fiora is a 3 might, 3 energy unit, which is sick. Like this is exactly what you want in a champion. You can play this on turn 1 if you're going second, turn 2 if you're going first. And that one reads, when a unit you control becomes mighty, you may pay a power to ready it. This has so many strong applications. The first one you probably think about is like going second, you drop that Fiora. Then next turn, you drop orange set, and when orange set drops, it's a 4 might unit, but then it buffs itself on play and becomes mighty. So you can drop orange set, it becomes mighty, you tap your legend to generate a rune, then you burn that rune that you just generated to accelerate orange set, and then you can spend buff to punch at something. So like, this is already super duper good. This scales super well into the game. This is pretty easy to make this card mighty because it's 3 might. If it was a 3-2, it would not be like as good. But cards like back to back that allow you to give +2 to 2 of your units, cards like Call to Glory +3, make it rather easy to make this card mighty. Even gears like potentially equips, if they give +2 mights, they make this card mighty. So I really do like this card. I think it's super super strong. I think it's, except if like orange Fiora is crazy strong at like occupying the champion zone, I think this card is your chosen champion 99% of the time. Like this is so good. Like this is so crazy to me. I think it's just like most like mandatory champion zone. And then we are going to look at Fiora's signature spell. And I tell you what, it's as good as that champion, which is like crazy, right? But like yellow champion and signature for Fiora, haha. But we don't have them here. We have them on Twitter though. And then I think the last card that we did not talk about already is a battlefield. It's the Treasure Hoard, which reads, when you conquer here, you may pay an energy to play a gold gear token exhausted. I don't think it's like super good. It's not like super bad neither. I think like paying an energy to generate a power in theory is like fine, but that also means that your opponent benefits from it. So either you play this going first, then you are almost guaranteed to conquer. Except maybe in 2Ksa, because like you drop your turn 1, they drop theirs, you get in there, you conquer, you have the gold gear token. But then if they swing back and they trade, they also have that gold gear token. So basically, when you conquer there, you want to have energy to use for spells to protect that battlefield and prevent them from conquering here. But also you need to tap an energy to generate that gold gear token. So that kind of does not make sense in a way. This is not super bad. Maybe we see it seeing play, but I don't think it's going to be a staple, and I don't think it's going to be one of the most represented battlefields in the game, at least right now. Maybe in the future, if some cards synergize with it, but like on its own, don't think it's like super duper good. And then next cards and last cards in the card gallery, because then we have a lot once again to look at from socials. Taking a sip because it's ads for you guys, some of you, so we can chill before talking Rek'Sai. And then we are going to be seeing red Rek'Sai too. That I did not see myself, red Rek'Sai, by the way. I have absolutely zero insight on what red Rek'Sai does. Let me scroll so I can prep Red Rek'Sai. Here it is. I have it. Great. Oh, it looks good. Oh, it looks good. It looks so sick. What the fuck? Okay, adds Organ. Perfect. Let's get started with that Yellow Rek'Sai. So Yellow Rek'Sai is a 5 energy and a power for 5 might units. And it has, when I attack, you may reveal the top 2 cores of your main deck. You may play one, then recycle the rest. If the cord that you played is a unit, you may play it here. Okay, so the point is like attacks, gives pseudo accelerate to a unit, and like you have to pay the cost, right? So it's okay, but it's also super slow, does not have accelerate into what seems like an aggro deck so far, from my understanding. Maybe Red Rek'Sai is going to change that, but like from my understanding, Rek'Sai wants to be an aggro deck that swarms the board. If that's the case, like this Rek'Sai does not synergize as well with like this strategy, and also it's kinda weak to removal, which you don't want. Like in an aggro deck, you want bodies that either they do something when they're played, Darius, just like whatever, like bodies that do something when they're played, or bodies that do something like for a cheap amount of runes. So then you can combine them with like Ride the Wind and stuff to accelerate them. And like this Rek'Sai seems too expensive to be accelerated, does not do nothing on play, and can kinda be cleared by like a lot of stuff. Dies to Singularity, which we might see more in the future, because like Ezreal reads when you target units twice, you can draw one, and like Singularity targets twice. So Ezreal might be on Singularity, and maybe others if it's good in the format. Kinda dies to double Falling Star, kinda dies to Icatian Rain, like dies to a lot of stuff. And like yellow and red are not colors known for their protective abilities. It's like basically you vomit everything onto the board and then you swarm a battlefield and you pray that it go through so far. So I kinda don't like this card. I tend to think it's too slow. Might see play, but if it sees play, it's most likely not good news for Rek'Sai. If you have to play this card to make the deck viable, it's not good news for Rek'Sai. Will be a one-off as chosen champ, and other one will be ×3. Potentially, let's look at the other one. I have it right here. Here we go. So this is Red Rek'Sai, and this looks dope. I've not seen the effect yet, but like this looks super duper dope. 3 energy for 3 might. I like that rate. No power cost, playable in the early game. Very good in aggro, obviously. Accelerate, so you can pay 4 energy and a power to have it enter ready instead of 3 energy. Assault 1. Okay, so like this is already super good. Like this is an accelerate unit that has as much might as its cost when it's accelerated, as its energy cost. This is already super good. Most accelerate units are like 1 or 2 extra energy on top of their might. Like Tasty Folk, when you accelerate it, it's 8 energy for 6 might. Yi, it's 7 energy for 6 might. So like this is already super good. And then friendly units played from anywhere other than a player's hand have accelerate. Oh, okay. Okay, so this helps you set up that yellow Rek'Sai there. Like basically anything, right? Yeah, Hook Rek'Sai. Like, it's 100% Hook Rek'Sai now. Champion Zone work. Yeah. This is Champion Zone material for sure. Like, you can... Nah, this is correct. This is actually correct. Yeah, it's Hook Rek'Sai. Like, the build is Hook Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai allows you to dig through your deck to play Hook. So you have way more consistency than you would ever have had with, like, Darius. You play Hook, then you... like just dig your top deck, you find ways to play your unit for cheap amounts of energy, you swarm the board, and then all of your units can have accelerate, which like no, that like this is actually super strong. This is super strong. I think this one is a one-off in the champion zone, because then you play aggro, so like you don't want to play it a billion times. I think just once is enough. And then you just cycle, like that turn you play it, you just like use the hook, then accelerate something, then play a big body, then accelerate it, and then you just like swarm the board that turn. So I like potentially you don't play 3 of these, but like as a one-off in the champion zone for sure you do play it, in my opinion. Isn't it better in Darius Hook than Rek'Sai? I think Rek'Sai Hook is just like way better than Darius Hook instantly because of them courts and the Legend's ability too. If you have that Rek'Sai in board and I play my champion unit from champion zone, does it give accelerate? Yup. Anything other than it's trash, champion zone, top deck. Probably there's something like banish zone, I guess, if you banish them temporarily and then they come back. Yeah, like this is so strong. This is correct. I do like it. I don't think Rek'Sai is going to be like super giga tier 1, but I do think Rek'Sai is going to be like kinda strong as an aggro deck. And also kinda reliable. Like ability to cycle, draw stuff. Which is scary for an aggro deck. When an aggro deck becomes reliable, then we have scary business going on. These we saw already. What are the upcoming ones? Fiora, Alt-Ort, by the way, this set, I have to say, they decided to pick that kind of like painting style using only or like mostly the 2 colors of the champion. I can kinda get that like not everybody loves this, but I feel like the fact that we have a global theme around this is super cool. And I absolutely love most of them. This one gives accelerate to the yellow one in chosen champ, potentially, but I don't think it's that good. Because then if you give accelerate to the yellow one, you also have to have the energy to pay for what the yellow one is going to be able to flip. So that means that you have to have a billion energy to make it viable. So I don't think yellow Rek'Sai is going to see play. I think you just play red Rek'Sai as a one-off in your champion zone, and that carries you through the mid game. So if red Rek'Sai is on board, everybody unit enter accelerated since they are banished first. Yep, you play them from top deck and banished. So like yeah, but even if you play them from top deck, they would accelerate. It just ends. Then we have Void Drone, another Rek'Sai core. Let me just like take this off, by the way. Oh no, my hair is terrible. Cap back on, huh? Void Drone is a 3 energy, 3 might unit, and I do love this card because I predicted that this card would be created, and I said if this card is created at some point, this is exactly what Rek'Sai wants. I think we need another one of these to make this viable, because right now, in the current situation of aggro decks, I don't think you are guaranteed to see one using Rek'Sai's effect, whereas if you have like 2 playsets of these in the deck, then you are almost guaranteed to see one through the reveals. So Void Drone is a 3 energy, 3 might cord unit that says I cost 2 energy less to play from anywhere other than your hand. So if you reveal this through Rek'Sai's ability, you just play it for 1 energy, which is like super good and exactly what you want, because you are already going to spend runes on like playing them bodies, accelerating them, conquering. So you want them cheap plays, that allow you to swarm the board and generate value. And like Rek'Sai is super good at that. So I really do love that Void Drone. I think it's great card design, and I think if we have another one of these, like maybe different condition, or maybe like play me for free, or if you see me from top deck, you may reveal me to play a unit with 3 might or less from your hands for free. Something like that, whatever. I think this is what Rek'Sai needs to be a competitive deck in the formats. So I really do like the Rek'Sai reveals so far. Next in line are Azir, Sivir, and Soraka, I think. Yup, exactly. So these are Chinese, of course. We are going to use translations. Thank you, by the way, for to the Riftbound Reports account. I should share it. I'm a dumbass for not doing so earlier. Let me just pin this here. So you guys can go sub to Riftbound Reports. They are doing a tremendous job at like reporting Riftbound news. This is the account I use to stay updated with the news. And if you've followed me on Twitter, I most of the time use retweets from them because like their posts are clean and informative, and I like that. So the first card is Azir, this card, which is cool. Kinda surprised because I thought we saw a green Azir champion in the trailer video from Dev and Changren, and it was not this Azir champion. It was a 4/4 unit with Accelerate. So I thought it was the Azir champion. Either they were baiting or we have several Azir champions, I don't know. But this one is pretty cool. It's a 6 energy and a power 6 smite unit, so the rate is like fine. Not super through the roof, but like fine. And it has an effect that reads as an action. It's pretty cool already, an action unit. We don't have a lot of those. As an action, move me to a chosen friendly unit's location and move that chosen friendly unit to my previous location. So like this is super cool. And also if that unit is equipped, you may choose one of the equipments and equip it to me. You may only use this ability once per turn. This is like super strong. Because like you can play it in base, it seems slow, but then if your opponent tries to attack you, you can just like swap courts and then they have to beat that Azir. So like it's not so slow. Also you can drop it in base, attack with like a Sand Soldier, then activate Azir's ability, replace the Sand Soldier, so now Azir has pseudo accelerate in a way. And also one of what could have been a problem in Azir is like you want to drop equips, then play the Sand Soldiers from the Legends ability, and then equip the equip, basically, to it. But like in the end, them Sand Soldiers are not like so important to your strategy. What you want to build up for is the big Azir. So of course, you could have like traded your Sand Soldiers in like the board to like have those equips back and then equip them to Azir. But it was kind of a slow way to do so. Now let's say on turn 2, I have Guardian Angel and a Sand Soldier, and I really want to play that Guardian Angel to play that Sand Soldier. I can do something like Guardian Angel, play the Sand Soldier, equip the Angel, so it allows the Sand Soldier to generate pressure, and then next turn I can just use Azir, attack with the Sand Soldier, Azir's effect, swap them, equip Guardian Angel to Azir, and now I have a Guardian Angel Azir, which makes a lot of sense. So like, yeah, this Azir is super cool. I've seen people say it's the most broken champion unit ever or whatever on socials. I tend to disagree. But I think it's a super cool unit that synergizes pretty well with what the decks want to do. So I like it. I do like it. A lot, actually. Will you only run like 7 units in Azir and 15 equipment since Azir makes soldiers? I'm not so sure. I think you can kinda cut on turn 1s. At least part of them. But like I think Azir is going to be a tempo deck that utilizes the cheap equips to generate tempo through Sand Soldiers, and not necessarily giga equips deck with like 15 equips in there and like you want to spam equips every turn. I think if you play like 2 to 3 Sand Soldiers in the game, you are already pretty happy with that, in my opinion. So I'd say we play something like maybe 10 equips, something like that, max 9-10 depending on how many good equips we have. I would not say more than that. And I already know 9 of them that we are going to play most likely. We are going to the Ranchit Golden Angel for sure, and I think we are going to talk about another one just after that. That's in today's reveal. That's also like super good. Then we have Sivir. So Sivir is a 6 might 3 power unit. Sorry, 7 might, but 6 energy and 3 power unit. So like super expensive. A bit above the energy curve in terms of might, but since it got so much power, it's like not so much above. And this card has Deflect 2. And also this card has when I conquer a battlefield through attack, if you deal at least 5 excess damage, deal that amount of damage to another opposing unit. I think this is trash. Like, I really don't like that Sivir. I think this is way too slow. Deflect 2 is good, but like not super good. And also like you want to play that card, right? You play it in the mid game. either you accelerate it, but then you're more in the late game than the mid game, because you have like Ride the Wind or like whatever severe signature that we're going to talk about after, something like that, but then you are facing big bodies. Can you explain how you do 5 excess damage to like Dead Bloom protected by Yeast passive with like 7 might? Like either this card is like 4 power 10 might, then makes sense to want to deal 5 damage with it, like 5 excess damage, or it's cheaper and plays in the early game. Because like this is slow, takes some time to set up. Of course, through Seaver's effect, you potentially pay less than 3 power, but that does not make it faster, and basically does not make it good. So like, in my opinion, this card is like not seeing play, it's barely playable. And then the last card is Soraka, so 4 might for 4 energy and a power, classic rate once again. And this Soraka reads, I must be assigned combat damage last, so inverted tank in a way, like they can't deal damage to me until they kill everyone but me. If a friendly unit takes lethal damage at my location and their might is lower than mine, remove that damage, exhaust that unit, and recall them to base instead. This is potentially good in aggro decks and only aggro decks. Because like in tempo decks, it's okay-ish to save your small units, but it does not impact the flow of the game so much that you want to play a unit that does nothing on play and that like only has 4 might to do so. In aggro, that's different, because then let's say I am playing something like Hook Darius, Hook whatever, I use that Soraka to like punch with a billion tokens, then all them tokens die, but they get sent back to base, and then I can push again. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. So I think in aggro, this could see play as like a way to stabilize your mid game and like not die so much to some of the stuff that you struggle to deal with in the mid game. And also this protects your base, I think. If the translation is correct, this protects your base, I think. My location, I guess, is base. I just realized this. If someone can confirm, I think this protects your base. So this kind of makes it that if they have Falling Star and you play aggro but you drop Soraka in base, they have to kill Soraka, because if they kill the other units in your base, they get saved. Might be wrong on that one, but I kind of think that's the case, no? I think location includes base. So if you damage a 2 might unit with Seaver, you get to 10 damage. Get to do 10 damage to something else. Because if you kill a 2 might unit, you get to do 5 more damage to something else anyway, no. If you kill a 2 might unit, you dealt 5 extra damage. So then you can use that extra damage to apply it on another unit. But like this means that Seaver, 7 might pushing into a 2 might unit, has the ability to deal 5 damage to another unit. And that's it. Like it's not good. You don't deal 10, you just deal 5. And the extra damage that you dealt to the 2 might unit is in the void. Like extra damage is basically everything that goes above the might that you punched in. That's about it. Yeah, so I think Soraka is decent. I think Azir is good. I think Seaver is trash. Next cores up. Oh, let's talk gears. I like that. So these are some, I think all of them are gears. No, this is a spell, gear. Okay. These are gears that got revealed to us today. If this is the correct translation, Soraka protects base. Yeah, I think so. So the first one, I think is super good. I think is going to see play in Azir specifically, but also potentially in other decks. So this is the Sacred Scissors, which is an equip that costs 2 energy and a power to put into play. The power is a problem, right? But since you play Weapon Master, like your Sand Soldiers have Weapon Master, I'm fine with paying the power once and then never paying it again. Kinda. And this gives +1 might to your units, so like super good on green Azir, because it goes to 7, which is a super interesting threshold once again. Good on Sand Soldiers, whatever. And this also gives your units Death Knell, draw a court. And that's like super good. Because then you can value your Sand Soldier throughout the game by just sacrificing them, which are not cards you play from your hand, right? They are not real cards. sacrificing them to draw a card when they die, and then this goes back to the gear zone and you can equip it again and tribute another unit to draw another card. So this is a super good draw engine in like yellow decks that wants to play around equips. Wink wink Aesir. This is also a cheap equip that allows you to generate a Sand Soldier in the mid game. I really do like that card. I think it's pretty good, and I think it's going to see play in Aesir, and that kinda completes that original lineup of gears that we wanted to know if we add them or not before saying, okay, for sure Aesir is good. The question was like, are we able to get 6 to 9 gears, ideally 9 gears, that are cheap enough to be valuable in the playable in the early game, but also valuable enough that we want to play them and like value them throughout the game. And this is exactly that. This is super good. So yeah, this is going to see play. I'm like almost certain this is going to see play. Great for Ook Rek'Sai. Potentially I could see that, yeah, but I think Ook Rek'Sai won't want to run too many gears, because then cards like Thermal Beam and stuff send you into Oblivion. So I think you are on Ook and that's about it, and you want your deck to function as much as it can without gears, I would say. Can you remind me about these 3 equip cards for Aesir? Doran Shields, Guardian Angel, and now Sacred Scissors are the 3 cards that make me say Aesir is going to have a viable early game strategy no matter what we get now in the upcoming reveals. Then we have another gear that this time is not an equip, in Vanguard Arms. And this gear is Exhaust Me, so this one, it's a 7 energy, 1 power gear, so like super expensive. And this is Exhaust Me, summon 3 1 might recruits into play. You may play them at different locations. The only cool thing about that card is that it has the Mash logo on it, because aside from that, it is the Mesh tier. Indeed, it is trash as fuck, not playable. Like, you have to reach 7 energy to drop this. Then you can spawn 3 tokens. They don't even have Accelerate. Like, it's trash here. In the late game, you are spawning, like you are passing turn in the late game to spawn 3 tokens. Like, why would you do so? And then you have to do it thrice to make it worth the price. Because like, basically, Riftbound Curve is like 1 energy is 1 might. Okay? Then 2 energy is 2 might. So this one generates 3 mights. So with 3 1 might tokens. So you could basically say, each time I use the effect, I quote unquote refound 3 energy. Which means first time you still paid 4 energy and a power, not worth it. Second time you paid 1 energy and a power, above from the curve that you generated, not worth it. Third time, you technically gained 2 energy and you still pay the power. So it's like not even that good. It's like way worse than something like White Flame Protector, might wise. So like this is ass. This is never seen play. This is completely trash. Then we have this card, which is, let me know the name, Strength Bind, which is a 2 energy spell that has repeat 2, so potentially for 4 energy. You can reaction give 2 friendly units plus 1 might this turn. This is not so bad, also not so good, but like this is decent. I think in like decks like Fiora, this could see play. Like in Fiora, this could definitely see play, because then like you can buff Kiana, you can buff Fiora to make them mighty, get that free rune, and this card does not cost runes. You could also use this as a way to just pump your bodies to be able to like win that showdown or whatever. And if you look at the global rate of like pumping spells in the game, if you pay their cost, that is, this is fair enough. Like Discipline is 2 might for 2 plus the raw 1. It's a bit better. Engorge is 2 might for 1, but like if you use it in a normal situation, quote unquote, it's that, but it could also be 1 for 1. Call to Glory is 3 might for 3. So once again, that kind of rate of like 1 might equals 1 energy, or 1 energy equals 1 might, the way you wanted to be phrased. And this is like either 2 energy for 2 might or 4 energy for 4 might, which like makes sense, right? Like it's just average. And if you can make use of it to proc something like Fiora's Legend ability, then I think it's playable. So I would not say it's cracked. Like, it's not one of the best buffing spells in the game, but still decent. And it gets salvaged the turn it's being played. Yeah, like, this is us. Like, this is unplayable for sure. And then the last spell is Marching Order, which is an action that has repeat 3 because it costs 3. So far, by the way, we did not talk about this again, but like the pattern seems to be repeat is you pay the cost you paid initially, which kinda makes sense. But then I'm curious why they did not just say repeat is you pay the cost twice, you do the effect twice, and they don't put the value next to it. Because, like, I guess it's because of cost reductions, potentially. I guess that's it. Because, like, so far, I think every repeat card that I saw is like you pay the cost. And I was thinking maybe you could repeat for like a cheaper, like the first activation is kind of expensive and then the repeat port is kind of cheap. Some, like, I could have seen that as a mechanic. And so this card is an action that says choose a friendly unit and an enemy unit at a battlefield, and they deal damage to each other equal to their might. So basically it's what's the name? Challenge, but can only target battlefields, but can be used twice, but for 6 energy. I still think, once again, challenge is a better card. Because like challenge can target base, which body or range, whatever you want to call it, has a very hard time doing. This card does not. I don't think in orange you will have the runes to do this twice. And also, if you want to do this twice efficiently, like let's say you are playing Mastery and you use this to trade with something. This requires a lot of setup because then like you have, like your opponent has to have a strong unit in the battlefield and you have to have one yourself and you have to want to trade them. If they have like 2 mid-size units and you want to repeat it to clear both, most likely it's also killing your body. Like let's say you have White Flame, they have like whatever Kiana something, then maybe it's killing your White Flame. This does not play so well around Smokescreen, does not play well around potential might reductions or might buffs that your opponent could have. So I just kinda feel like this card is a bit below what challenge can do. And I just think I prefer challenge, even though paying the power can sometimes be a burden. I just think challenge is a better card, once again. Some have different power costs to play and repeat. Oh, okay, I did not see them already, but good to know. Then, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the almighty Rumble archetype, the mechs, and as expected, they are ass so far. Mechs are not good so far. So, sorry, let me just clear my throat. Ooh, it was not cool. So, sorry guys. First card is that one that we see here. It is a 3 might unit for 4 energy and a power. If you guys know me, you know I don't like that curve already. I swear I'm not going to be biased because these are mechs, but these are shit. So the first card is Progress Glory, and it reads, when you use a gear's activated ability, I gain +1 might this turn. So basically this card reads, if you use a gear activated ability, I am a 4/4 unit that costs you a power. This is trash. Like if it was like 4/4 flat with no power cost, and then you use a gear and it goes to 4 energy and 5 might, it would not even be good. Like it would not be good. It would straight up not be good. It would be too slow, not good. It's even worse than that. Like this card is ass. It's ass. Give it time, they're making mechs like silvers in Magic the Gathering, eventually they'll break cracked. At some point, yes. But let me tell you this, if they are cracked, they are going to see play in something else than Rumble. Because Rumble is ass. And then the second mech is an 8 energy and 2 power unit that has 7 mights. That is also a mech. It's the Dune Hopper mech. And this card allows you to give your mechs deflect and ganking. And if you control another mech, this card has accelerate. Once again, this card is S. Like, this is clearly, like, the effect on its own is kinda decent. If you don't have anything from that card but the effect, I would probably be like, okay, this effect is good, but then I hope the card is not too expensive. Which it is. This is a setup card that gets value. Like, the longer it stays on the board and it buffs your units, the better it gets, right? Oh, sorry, Gilligat wants to go out. Go, baby. Don't want to? Okay, I close this. She does not want to, she stays in there. So, yeah, sorry. I was saying, if this card was being, like, you could play this in the mid game, like, let's say it's 4 energy, 3 might, and 2 power, whatever, and you can use it to, like, continuously pump your mech through the game and make them stronger, makes sense. But, like, it's not super good, it's super expensive, and also one of its big perks is to enter ready. It's kind of a 7 might unit, 7 energy, 7 might unit with 1 power cost, and you can pay accelerate. Because if you are playing that mech strategy, you are going to be accelerating it. But then that also means, Kiliga, please. Go out, baby. Like, she wants me to open the window, but then she does not want to go out. I sent her out. It's fine. So, like, this is going to, one of its big perks is to conquer, to be able to conquer. But then it's going to get traded. Like, this is not efficient into Fox. This is not efficient into, like, White Flame. This is probably not efficient into a lot of them big menace that we are going to discover in set 2. Which means that, okay, this card does not have a, like, goal of staying on board. Whereas with its effect, you would want it to stay in base and, like, chill there. But it's too much of a commit for you to just play this and pass turn and set up for the upcoming turns. So I just don't like this card. I just think this card is bad. Way too slow, not good enough. Just a bad card overall. It costs the same amount as Accelerated Watcher. Like, you want to compare this and Accelerated Watcher, which are the same costs, and tell me this is good? Nah. We can't do that. Mechs, unfortunately, seem to be the clowns of set 2, and that's fine. We have to have a trash archetype, right? Next is a 2 might 4 energy unit without a power cost that is Royal Gorge, and that allows you, when you play it, to play a 2 might Sand Soldier at its location. This is actually pretty good. Not sure this is seeing play, but I'd rather have, like in Azir specifically, I'd rather have a 4 energy card that spawns 2 bodies, one of them having Weapon Master, than a 4 energy card that only spawns itself and dies to a lot of stuff, right? Like 2 units for the same might rate are, like, almost every time better than 1, in a way. The rate for this one is good. The fact that you have Weapon Master is good. This will also allow you to snowball on your equips in the mid game. Like, you play an equip, you play a token, the token the equip goes back to base. You are happy to be able to have another free Sand Soldier to snowball on that equip once again. So, like, this card is fairly decent. Yo, Julia, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing great. Much love. And then we have Corina Veradza, which is a 7 energy, 1 power unit that has 6 might, and that has accelerate. So technically, you can play it for 8 energy and 2 power, basically, once again, Fox rate, if you will. And this card has, when I move to a battlefield, summon 3 1 might recruits there. So, like, you spawn it, moves, and it attacks with 3 units. So it kinda becomes a 9 might body, which is, like, okay-ish, I guess. I would not say this is cracked, but this is a decent top end that I think Yellow did not have so far. Obviously, if we were taking Victor has access to Fox, so, like, don't want to play this. Also, some of them other yellow decks are aggressive decks, as in like Darius, potentially Rek'Sai and stuff. These are not playing Discord. A bit too expensive in my opinion. But it's not that bad. Like, it does not feel bad. The might rate is decent. The cost is decent. The accelerate feature is cool. I think Discord is... Yeah, I think Discord is definitely playable. I would not say cracked. Maybe not seeing play. But like definitely playable, in my opinion. Next, we have Robaless's Reveal. By the way, some of you guys who just landed, hope you're having a great time. Thank you for being on stream. Thank you for the support. If you like Meta Riftbound, feel free to drop a follow. I stream usually on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Paris time, but like these days I've been streaming a bit more. So feel free. And tomorrow, 6 p.m. Paris time, so maybe we start the stream at like 5:50 or something. I will be casting Robaless Riftbound League 2. We casted Session 1 on stream last Sunday. We are going to be casting tomorrow once again. So if you want to see competitive Riftbound, casted live, ask questions, try to learn about playstyles and stuff, feel free to drop by. It's going to be a cool evening. And with that being said, let's talk about Robaless's Reveal. This is Bone Shiver. So for the lore guys, I think this is the weapon of Trundle, if I'm not mistaken. One of the trolls that's a champion in League. This is a 3 energy equipment gear that you have to pay a power and an energy to attach this to a unit hero control. So once again, if you equip it through Weapon Master, you don't pay the power, but you still pay the additional cost. In that scenario, the energy. So you kinda have to pay 4 to make this live. But then it has when I conquer channel 1 rune exhausted, and it gives +2 might. I don't think this card is like super duper good. I think it's kinda slow, kinda predictable, and also it requires you to conquer, but it's a mid-game card. It's not a card that you can drop on turn 1. So this is not something that you can use as like, I drop it in the early game, then I play a bigger body, like on turn 5 that has accelerate or something, and then I equip, and then I punch. This does not make sense. Because then you are just skipping on a turn in which you could have played something like Kiana, like whatever. Probably does not make sense, especially in body, which is very like combat oriented, and you want to have the tempo and you want to have them big boys to swing. I don't think we are Discord is seeing play. It's not trash though, but like it's just too slow. It's kind of a pseudo Kiana in a way, and this is not something that I think I like as a court. Just give me a second. Someone pinged me there, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. 2. Next court is Renata Champion. Yellow Renata. I know some of you, probably not a lot of you, but like some of you are excited about Renata. You probably know if you've been there on stream before that I'm not like super giga hype about Renata. I think it's like super slow. And if the first part of the effects helped you in a way to activate the second port, like could have been decent, but it's not the case. So I just feel like it's super slow. It's kind of like locks in a way, and it's not working. So this is my take on Renata before we see anything, right? Gold just provides power. Yeah, you kill it and you generate a temporary power for the turn. Exactly. So Renata is a yellow champion that is 4 energy and a power for 4 might. And this card simply says your tokens enter ready. This is not like super bad. Like this could see play. The thing is, you would want to play better tokens than actual tokens. Because like the tokens everyone is thinking about right now is like victory tokens, which are not tokens, they are recruits. They are 1/1. I think if we find a way to play better tokens than this, then this could make sense. Because else, this basically means that I'm dropping this in the mid game, kind of like a pseudo yellow victor in a way. Like I'm dropping this in base, and I want it to stay there, and I'm happy because it's 4 might, so it's out of like 1 falling star ping range. And if they want to clear it, they have to use both. And I just want it to stay in base and like activate my token throughout the game. Problem is like if you drop this on 4, then next turn you are on 5. Your opponent is on like, let's say they recycle the power or whatever, they are on like 6, whatever. Like tokens are not doing shit on like 6, 7 might and the turn after them. 6, 7 runes, sorry, and the turns after them. Except if you want to play something like Stratagem. But then Stratagem is already those tokens do not need to enter ready for Stratagem to be viable, because the big strength in tokens is numbers. You drop a bunch of tokens in base, you pass, and then all your tokens restand and you punch with Stratagem. You won't have the energy to have Renata, then next turn a lot of tokens plus Stratagem available. You have to pass turn to make Stratagem available because it's too expensive. So like in a way, in a vacuum of what we have right now, I don't think it's like good. But potentially in the upcoming future, it could be like decent if we have token generators that are better than just like straight up recruits. If we see that, potentially, yeah. I'm up for Rek Hook. I think Rek Hook is going to be strong. Yeah, I think it's going to be strong. Imagine having the same cost as yellow set and doing Solio. Yeah. I mean, yellow set is like super efficient of a unit. Like, cost-wise, it's super duper efficient. So I don't think we should use yellow set to compare a unit's worth to it. But this Renata, because of how it functions, so far I don't think is a great card. This one though, is strong. Send soldiers or tokens, so maybe in Aether, I don't think... I see what you mean, I thought about it, but like, I don't think so, because I think Aether is much more of a tempo than an aggro deck. And so like, in the late game, you will have them runes to play them big swings. And you are not stuck to like, I play Doran Shield, accelerate my Sand Soldier, punch with 3. Like, Aether is going to have better answers than that. I hope, I pray that he's going to have better answers than that. Then we have Against the Odds. That is pretty good. So Against the Odds is a 2 energy, 0 power reaction spell. Pretty good. A raid that we like to see. That has reaction speed and allows you to give a friendly unit at a battlefield plus 2 might this turn for each enemy unit there. There are few problems with that course that I want to tackle first, and then we are going to talk about the positives. First problem is that this card can't be used to activate Darius, because the unit already has to be at a battlefield. So you can't use it on Darius, then it swings to battlefield and gains the extra might. Does not make sense. That's a problem in red, because Darius is going to be prevalent for some sets. I tell you what, this card is so strong, it's going to see play like for several sets. Other problem is that it sometimes is going to require a lot of setup for you to value it properly. And I don't think in aggro, you want to let your opponents have so much of their bodies at a battlefield, because either you are playing any and you are fine with like vie into them and you clear everything, or that game is lost. Because if they have a lot of body, most likely that game is lost. So if we're not talking aggro, as in any something, or whatever, red, we obviously think about Kaisa. But then Kaisa as Watcher, which already punishes people stacking battlefields a lot. So I feel like, so far, this card does not have a like perfect deck to fit into. But these are the only problems that I see. Because aside from that, this has a lot of potential. Even if there is just one single friendly unit in a battlefield, you pay 2 to give 2 might. Well, that's fine. That's the standard rate. Like, it's not a bad card. If it was plus 1 might, it would be a bad card probably. But like, just giving plus 2 can sometimes be enough to make the difference. Also, it's a reaction, so it can help you play around potential X-Tech Rays, Void Seeker, blah, 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 blah. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. I just think like so far, it has a weird spot fitting in the red decks that are dominating right now. But in the upcoming future, it's probably a strong card. It's a reaction that punishes holding decks. Not so true, because the best holding deck in the game is Mastery, and Mastery is always going to, like, this card into Mastery is just going to give you +2. Not much more. Or if they commit into it, they are just straight up trolling. So I could see this seeing play. I just don't think right now it perfectly synergizes with the formats. But at some point it's going to see play. It's like pretty good. Pretty good. Darius Cleave makes it bad. Cleave is strong, but this is also a defensive tool. So I could see it being like decent. In like more all around. But it's not perfect. Like, it's far from perfect, but it's good. Not saying it's trash. Then we have this card, Stellacorn Herder, which is a 4 energy 3 might card that reads, when I move, draw 1. This is a bit worse than the purple turn 1 that says, when I move, generate a treasure token in Yasuo. And aside from Yasuo, I don't think it's like playable, I would say. But it's decent in Yasuo. I still don't think it's seeing play. Or like, it is, but then you kind of full commit on that idea of like Flash, Ride the Wind, Fight or Flight, potentially Sona, Yasuo's ability, like everything that moves you around the board, and you become a gimmicky deck. But like in what could potentially make Yasuo great, which is to be a tempo deck, I think this card is just a bit slow. If it was a turn 1, like 2 energy for 1 might, it would be cracked as fuck. Aside from that, I don't think it's seeing play. It's just a bit too expensive. Yeah, it's a bit too expensive in my opinion. It's not like super bad, but it's just not good enough to see play, in my opinion. Then we have Void Hatchling, which is a turn 1 dedicated to Rek'Sai. Pretty interesting for Rek'Sai specifically, because for other decks I think it's just not like barely playable. Void Hatchling is a 2 energy 2 might unit that reads, if you would reveal cards from a deck, look at the top card first, you may recycle it, then reveal those cards. So basically this allows you to filter an extra card every time you proc Rek'Sai's ability. I think it's decent in Rek'Sai, because like talking about turn 1s, you might as well have them have 2 might, so that allows you to have a lot of value off the hook, and it's going to proc a lot. It can proc on yellow Rek'Sai, it can proc on Rek'Sai's legend ability, it can proc on hook, can proc on a lot of cards, and I don't hate it. I think this is going to see play in Rek'Sai. Anyway, Rek'Sai is going to want to run a lot of turn 1s, so that way it can start stacking that like swarm starting turn 1 basically, and not miss turn 1. So yeah, I don't hate it. I think this is a decent card, specifically for Rek'Sai. Then we have Phelios Exalted, which is a 4 energy and a power unit for 4 might, so okayish rate I guess. Which reads, when you attach an equipment to me, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Either you ready 2 runes, you channel a rune exhausted, or you buff a friendly unit. So this is clearly a Jax card. First thing is the last effect, buff a friendly unit. This is an orange effect, whereas Aphelios is green. So you look at green-orange cards and you see that Jax is in there. Also, you can like use Jax's effect to unequip, then re-equip to trigger its effect multiple times. Kinda expensive, because you have to pay energy every time. But like being able to ready 2 runes makes it not so expensive, because then like you could just pay for Jax's cost with Aphelios' effect. I could see that making sense. Also, the fact that you can channel a rune kinda refounds its power cost. So it's kind of a 4 energy 4 might unit. It's not like super crazy sick, but it's definitely playable. And I could see that card seeing play in Jax and helping Jax develop a proper game plan, which so far I felt was lacking. Like so far, I kind of felt like Jax was, yeah, we want to play all them cool equips. Like look at Trinity and look at this and look at that, and all of them together are a big piece of shit. And with this Aphelios specifically, I think that we can kind of develop somewhat of a game plan in the mid game to have a strategy of like, okay, I play small equips, then I develop Aphelios. Then every turn I want to make value out of its effect, while also developing other units, buffing them through Aphelios and stuff. So I could see that. I don't think that card is terrible. I don't think it's like correct neither. It's like right in the middle of like good, but if you will. Then we have the Power Nexus, which is a new battlefield that reads when you hold here, you may pay 4 power to score a point. If this was when you conquer, it would be cracked in like aggro decks. Since it's when you hold, it's kinda trash. Like the only point is you play this in a hold deck to pressure your opponent 1 turn earlier, but like even then it's like not good. It's like meh, because like hold decks basically when they score points through holding is when they managed to like regain that momentum, because at first hold decks are not so strong. Think Master Yi, think Harry. In the early game they are like not turbo good, but when they manage to regain that momentum, they settle in the battlefields, and then it's very hard to retake them. And that momentum is the deciding moment in the game. And once they have that momentum, most of the time they are in a favorable spot of winning that game. So winning a turn earlier when your win condition is to switch the momentum and then you have a tendency to be able to keep it, kinda does not make sense, if you see what I mean. So like I don't think this is going to see play. I think this is way too expensive and like not so good. Then we have a super strong card. This I think has a whole lot of potential. So this is Vex. First of all, the art is so cool. Second, it's a champion unit for Vex that we already know is releasing. I think it's set 3 or set 4, but we have a Vex starter deck coming our way, and I really do like it. This is a 5 energy and a power card that has 5 might, and its effect is while I'm in combat, friendly spells cost 1 energy and 1 power less to a minimum of 1, and enemy spells cost 1 energy and 1 power more to no maximum. I really do think this card is one of the missing pieces that Irelia was looking for to be one of them stronger decks. I really think Vex is super cracked in Irelia. Being able to like drop Vex, then play something like Engwatch, then you accelerate Vex through Irelia. So yes, it is 2 power, but then also you can not only push through your opponent's battlefields, but also enemy spells cost an energy and a power more. So that means that you are on green-purple, which is going to rely heavily on like having them spells that cycle, allow you to move around the board, allow you to buff, and their counters are going to be way more expensive. Like defies, like whatever. And like you could say, yeah, but they are just going to use defy before you push through the battlefield. But Irelia is the first time you choose an enemy unit, you give that extra might. And so even though they defy, you still, you ready them. So even though they defy, you still have the ability to pay a power to ready, which means they defy a like kind of useless Engward or something like that. And then you can just use Vex to push your like good spell through. So I really do like that card. I think it can be a like super strong clouder. You can use it to like ride the wind around the board and stuff, make a lot of value. I really do like that card. I don't think it's like going to break Irelia, but I think this is definitely a card that you want to look at if you're willing to build Irelia. And I think this is at the very least, like its floor is sideboard card that is going to crush green and yellow decks. Green and purple and blue decks. Let me get there. That is going to crush green and blue decks. That those decks that want to react a lot, want to have runes open to force you to commit into them, you now have a way to commit into them that actually pressures them at least as much as they do pressure you. I like this Vex. I think it's really good. I don't like this Ezreal. I think it's really trash. Jumping from one thing to another. So Ezreal dashing. Ezreal champion for blue. Let's pray that the purple one is going to be better. So this is a 4 energy, 1 power unit that has 3 might. And that says when I attack or defend, you can deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit here. So basically, instead of combat damage, you deal ability damage, which triggers the legend. I don't deal combat damage, so it's not like Green Yasuo. It's worse than Green Yasuo. Green Yasuo deals ability damage through its ability, and then combat damage. This as well just deals ability damage. And then you can pay a power to use its action effect, which is move me to your base. So basically the plan is you play this dude, you attack with it, use its effect to deal damage, then bring it back to base, and then you can just activate something like Stupefy to trigger Ezreal's legend and draw a card. But this card is trash. Like, it has 3 might, it's super expensive, it does not come in ready. You don't want to ride the wind that card over the board. If you have to use that card's action, you have to pay 2 power. It dies to a falling star ping. Like, this card is just like super, super trash. I really do pray that purple Ezreal is like, when I move, do something to an enemy unit. And then we have at least one playable champion. And like, we don't care about this one. We send this in the trash, just like what we did for like blue Kaisa or whatever. But this one is like, if purple Ezreal is as bad as this one, Ezreal is most likely not playable. Which is like, I would love to play Ezreal, so nah, don't like that. Then we have Royal Entourage, which I think is going to be a strong card, because it's one of the first cards that when I look at the might rate, I'm like, ooh, like this is strong. So this is a 3 energy 1 power unit that has 4 mights. It's above the curve. So if you want to drop it as a vanilla in the early to mid game, it's good. It's already good because it has a lot of might. And then it also reads, when you play me, you may ready or exhaust a legend. And this, I think, is pretty good. Probably you only want to run that card if you have synergies with your very own legend. Like, let's say Ezreal. This does not work because Ezreal is not green. But like Ezreal, which says, if you've targeted an enemy unit twice, you may type me to draw 1. I guess like you target twice, you tap, you draw 1, you drop this, you restand Ezreal, you tap, you draw another 1. Like, you are pretty happy with that effect, right? And also, you can tap opposing legends, which means obvious examples are like Ornn, Kaisa. You want to tap them so they pay an extra power. But there are like super strong use cases, like Set, for example. You use this, you tap Set, so the opposing Set, of course. Then you play you take a trade, and Set can't save his units because he's tapped. And that has crazy sick value. So I do think, in Azir it is also pretty good. I do think this card is going to see play, potentially in Azir, potentially in other green legends. But I do think this is probably going to be one of the most like undervalued cards out there in set 2, while it's actually rather strong, at least as a sideboard card, but potentially as a mainboard card. This is very strong. Like, this is a super strong card. Yasuo, potentially, yeah. I think it's like not so good because Yasuo you have to pay again. I would like it to be played in Legends in which like you don't pay, or you pay a super cheap amount to do something that you have to meet conditions to do before. Like, Azir is a good example. Like, I play in the mid game, I play whatever, like Doran Shield, tap Azir, Sun Soldier, drop this, untap Azir, send Soldier. Like, this makes more sense, in my opinion. Then next card is Gem Jammer, which is a turn 1 for Fury for red. It is a 2/2 card. It is a mech, so technically works with Rumble, but as for every mech, it is not a good card. It has, when you play me, give a unit ganking this turn. So basically, it's either you drop it as a turn 1 vanilla in the early game, and then it kinda has shield. So if you're going first, you could consider it as a 2/3 might, 2 energy, 3 might card. So kinda like shield power. But you most likely want to play it in the mid game to like have, like, you stack a battlefield with them big mechs, and then you give them ganking and you swing them to the other battlefield. But then they don't benefit from shield anymore because they are now attackers, not defenders. So I don't see this card being super good. The better use case is like both battlefields are empty, you conquer, you stand there, next turn they did not conquer, you give ganking, you conquer the other one, and then you scored both points, but like it's not even good. So yeah, I don't think this card is like good. I mean, I don't think Rumble is good, I don't think mechs are good, I don't think this card is good. Mech Pog, yeah, kinda. It's kinda Mech Pog in the around the board, but like, nah. This though is a super good card. Not so fast is Pseudo Defy. So not so fast is a 2 energy 1 power spell that reads reaction, counter an enemy spell or ability that chooses a friendly unit or gear. This is super duper good. This is probably like the better win wall in a way, because there's no cost restriction on this one. So you can counter Falling Star, you can counter Icathan Rain, you can counter other cards that are super strong like Eden Blade. Like there are a lot of cards you can actually counter with this one that are very prevalent in the metagame. Singularity you can counter. Does not work with like Stratagem, does not work with Unchecked Power, does not work with Time Warp, but like it's still a super good card, and it's potentially a card that you want to run some copies of in your main deck, and then you want to swap them with win walls from the sideboard in certain matchups, I feel like. So yeah, I really do like that card. What are they saying here? I think it... does it counter Rain? Great question though. Because like they have to activate the card and you have a window to counter, then they give the targets. So like if this does not counter Falling Star nor Rain, it's not good. Like most likely not good. I thought this countered because they target, but like it's true that you have a window to... Let me just check on the official Riftbound Discord. Let me just check. Rules question. Not so fast. I think someone must have asked. Yeah, versus Rain Falling Star. You count in response. However, you count to one of the reflective triggers. Huh. Okay. Weird ruling there. So you can use Not So Fast to counter half of Falling Star or half of Icathan Rain. Okay. Then it's probably worse than I thought. I think this is still decent, depending on the format. But like, if the two biggest removal spells in the format, you can't counter them, then Windwall is still better, I'd say. Each trigger goes on the stack. Yeah, but apparently you can only counter one of them pings. Not ability or gear. Oops, spell. Yeah, spell. Okay, so like, it's still good. Not as good as I thought though. But like, still decent, right? Then we have Ravenbloom Conservatory, which is when you defend here, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a spell, put it in your hand, otherwise recycle it. This is interesting. The only thing is, I'm not so sure this is going to see a lot of play, Because like one, if you miss on turn 1 or something, you potentially doom your game. Like if your opponent is a spell deck, you just doomed your game. And 2, I think like those decks that tend to play a lot of spells, potentially Kaisa could play that, but like those decks that tend to play a lot of spells, most of the time are like Eri, Yi, like decks that have actions and reactions that make them good at holding. But then if you're good at holding and you know that you are going to be holding throughout the game, might as well play God of the Grove Relay, which is like when you hold draw 1. It's a bit slower in a way, but also if you are a deck that's good at holding, might as well draw 1, whatever it is, than risking revealing a unit and recycling it. So I could see that as not trash, but I'm not certain. Like, I think you want to play this going first into specific matchups as a specific deck, and then I feel like these decks so far have better use cases for Grove. Might be wrong. Could see play. But like, it's not like completely changing the dynamic of holding decks, in my opinion. Falling Star doesn't target triggers that Falling Star creates or considered abilities. Yeah, exactly. So you can counter the ability, but only one of them, not the two of them. Time Warp? I think you should cut Time Warp, huh? Are we settled on the debate that you should cut Time Warp by now? Let me just press F5 to make sure we did not miss on anything. Yeah, no new reveals. Okay, so perfect. So we are now done with the reveals, and it's actually 11:30. So we took something like 3.5 hours talking about reveals. Was it too long? I guess it was fine. I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about tonight, but like time is catching us. Time is getting back at us. What do we think about this one though? Potentially we could talk about like these like real fast, like in about half an hour. We for sure won't have time to like cast another one of these games. Either you guys pick. It's either we talk about the formats in the big Western tournaments, or we cast a game. But I think we talk about the format, right? Because then the casting part was about talking about that format and then seeing how it converts to like play. Format, yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're going to be doing. So regarding the tier lists, if we were to update it with the reveals that we've seen so far, these guys still stand strong. Maybe potentially Aether still like looks stronger than before. Ornn did not get a lot actually. Like we are still missing a lot of Ornn stuff. Rek'Sai now has meta potential for sure. Severe. Wait, actually we missed on some like signature cards, no? Because we did not talk about like Fiora and stuff. We did not talk about Fiora and stuff, did we? I think we did not. I think we did not review Fiora's signature. Where is that one? Like there were a bunch of signatures revealed at some point, and Fiora's was one of them. Yeah, this. We did not talk about this. We missed this. Yeah, we missed this for sure. Okay, so let's talk about this too. Let's talk about this because this is pretty important. Like this is pretty important. So this is Fiora's signature spell, which is Riposte, literally Fiora's W in League. So this is Fiora's signature. It's a 2 energy, 2 power signature that acts as a reaction and says choose a friendly unit and spell. Yeah, so friendly unit and spell, but opposing spell, of course, not friendly spell. Counter that spell, and that friendly unit gains might equal to the spell cost this turn. This is correct. This is super duper correct. So basically, you counter any spell in the game for 2 energy and a power, because one of these powers you are going to refound by buffing one of your units so that it goes over 5 might, and then you ramp the rune through Fiora's effect. No, it does not go in set. Yeah, but it's super good. It's like super good. So Fiora has cracked yellow champ and cracked signature. This is super good. Yeah, like this is correct. And being able to counter any spell in the game for 2 energy and a power makes it unbelievable. Also, it's even better to pay 2 power and then ramp 1 than to pay 1 because you could get defied. So like it's correct. It's free though, just have to recycle 2 runes when your opponents are tired. yeah, makes sense. But like no. Actually, like this is strong as fuck. This one is Ezreal's signature. I don't think I like it so much. It's Arcane Shift. At first, I thought this was a reaction. Then this made sense, but it's an action. So this is 3 energy and a power for a signature spell that is an action, as I just told you. And you can banish a friendly unit. Then its controller plays it for free on ignoring the cost, of course. And then you can deal 3 damage to an opposing unit in a battlefield and you banish the gauntlets. I would have expected Ezreal's signature to have repeat. So that way you can use it twice and triggers Ezreal's ability. Not the case, so you will have to combine that one with another court to trigger Ezreal's ability. The fact that you can replay a unit could be kind of cool, especially if like we have some cool on-play courts. So far, be it blue or purple, we don't have one of them. We have, of course, cards like Fox and stuff, but like these are not on-plays that you want to trigger twice. Once is usually enough. Yeah, I like... The card is not trash, but I'm kind of disappointed in the way it works. You can banish a unit that targets an enemy like that 2 energy ghost unit. Yeah, but like... It's super expensive. So you'd have to have a super good unit to work with it. And also if you get defied, like it's... you tap 3, you pay the power to do nothing. Like, it's tough. Definitely tough. Sivir's signature is the Aunt. I predicted that one, replying to someone on Twitter who said Sivir's signature spell to be the boomerang. And I said, I think it's going to be her ult. And it's either you untap everyone or everyone enters ready, kind of confront-like. So Sivir is 1 energy and 2 power, ready all your units. I mean, this is good. Not much more to say. This is good. It's 2 power, so can't get defied. Allows you to get accelerate through a like whatever cheap amount of runes, of course, but also whatever board you have. Like you can conquer, then untap your units. You can set up in base, then untap everyone, conquer. Like this is good. This is also like the downside is supposed to be a lot of power. But since Sivir generates treasure tokens a lot, I feel like this could see play. This is good. Only problem with Sivir is that, like, kind of like Ezreal, we don't have a champion yet. So, like, we have, of course, the orange Sivir, but it's trash. We need a great purple Sivir to make this deck playable. But if purple Sivir is good, potentially this deck has, like, yeah, this deck has decent potential. The 0 energy core that cycles the top deck, the signature are good. You have pretty good cores in that color combination, Mind Splitter, Dead Bloom. You'll have a lot of them. So I think, like, yeah, Sivir is definitely going to be playable if we have a great purple champ. If not, well, life, I guess. Kind of what MF has been missing too. If purple Sivir is good, Sivir will be great. I think, yeah, exactly. I do agree with that. And then the last one is a 7 energy 2 power spell, signature for Renata. It's hostile takeover. You can hide it, meaning you can not pay the cost, which is pretty big because like the cost is 5 energy and 2 power. So the fact that you are able to hide it is pretty good. But I don't think it matters so much in Renata. Or kind of, but not like too much. And this reads, gain control of an enemy unit and ready it. And if there are other enemy units present, enter showdown, otherwise conquer the battlefield. And at the end of turn, lose control of the unit, then recall it, so you send it back to your opponent's base. So on paper, this is great. Like this allows you to hold and proc Renata's effect. My big problem with that is I would have wanted for Renata to have an effect that allows her to accelerate, like a signature that allows her to accelerate that early game so that she can get to 5 points and like make that second effect of like treasure tokens being an energy and a power instead of just a power work. But that's not the case. And sorry, just give me a second to clear my throat. Okay, I'm back. And this does not help in conquering, retaking, whatever. So this implies that you kinda want to play it from a holding spot. But then if you play it from a holding spot, you have to be good in the early game. And so far, blue-yellow is not good in the early game. We don't have great early game units. Victor is only good in the early game because Victor tokens, but like its units are not helping. What this combination of colors is strong at doing is like late game, Singularity, Fox, Stratagem. This is where that color shines. And so I would have wanted a signature for Renata that allowed her to grab them early points to enable her win condition, basically, which it does not do. So I think this is bait. I think being ahead with a control deck like this in the early game is not feasible on a regular basis, and if you manage to do so, you are probably already winning that game. So I don't think like this card is like super cracked. I want this card on the card gallery so I can deck build in Piltover. Yes, some of them are. Especially tomorrow we have most of them. So like, I don't think this solves the Renata problem. Like this seems good. I don't think it is like that good. And then we have Azir's signature spell, which is 6 energy and a power. And I don't have the name. Send soldiers appear. And this signature spell is for each equipment you control, you may put 1 2 might send soldier into play and ready 2 send soldiers. So friendly reminder, send soldiers have weapon master because of Azir. So basically this means that every send soldier that like you have an equip, you are going to play a send soldier that's going to be able to equip it, and then you are going to be able to ready some of them and push. This is not a good card. Like in my opinion, this is barely playable. I don't see a way we make this work on a regular basis. There are too many problems. First one is one of the better equips in the game is Guardian Angel, and Guardian Angel kills itself to trigger its effect. So like, does not synergize with this. I don't think you want to play a billion equips. I don't think this has value because like, let's say you have 3 equips on board, which is already a lot, right? Like having 3 equips available is not feasible, but like if you want to make it work every game, you have to play a lot of them equips, right? Then this card is just like, fine, you paid 6 energy and a rune to spawn 3 tokens that are 2 might, so to spawn 6 might basically. Okay, they have weapon master, but like it's not correct, it's not even good. And so you have to have a lot of setup, you have to be in need of units. And then, okay, you spawn 3 tokens with 2 might. Let's say they all gain 2 might through Weapon Master. 2 of them are ready. You have 8 might. What are you trading with 8 might in the late game? Like, you're not beating Deadbloom with his passive. You're not beating, like, Fox and they have X-Tech Ray and you lose everything. Like, this is not super good. Like, this is not good at all, actually. The only way I could see it play is like as a potential one-off to clutch them late game situations. And even that way, I think I kinda don't like it. Yo, Drake. Sorry, I'm quite new this round. I have a question about deck building. Can you have more than 3 signature spells in your list if they match with your color deck? Nope. So actually this one is in Chinese. But if I show you like another one of them, like this one, this is written their signature spell, but also their Lucian. And Lucian is the legend. So you have to play Lucian's signature spell in Lucian. So you can't play like, let's say red-orange is also Volibear. You can't play Volibear's signature spell in Lucian because on the signature it's written Volibear and your legend is not Volibear. So you have to combine both. Basically. So yeah, that one is not great neither. And that's about it. We missed those ones, but now I'm fairly certain that we did not miss anything. So now that we want to update the list, I updated Rek'Sai to definitely has meta potential. Israel I still think has meta potential if and only if we get good repeats and the purple champion is good. So might demote it to strong support needed because now we know that the signature is not a repeat. Did we review Yone? Yup, we did. Feel free to take a look at the votes if you want to have the full explanation. But TLDR, it's super good. I really, I think, kinda slides into that meta potential category. Ornn did not get a lot, so let's just have Ornn stay there. He still needs strong support to be there. Sivir kinda needs good champ, then it's a decent deck, at least. Jax is most likely bad. Lucian is between confirm not good and Mex, to be fair. Like, Lucian is not good. And Fiora might make a jump from confirm not good to meta potential. Because like Fiora's legend effect, once again, is not that great. But yellow Fiora is super strong. And Fiora's signature is super strong too. I feel both of these are still like clowns. This one is kinda clown. This one did not get a lot though. Like, is Yone good enough? Nah, this one is still most likely bad so far. No, it's most likely bad, yeah. It's not like confirm not good. Then Lucian is confirm not good. We know too much about Lucian to make it good. This we don't know nothing about, but theoretically the effect is good. A bit more of like reveals and potentially this is good. This needs a good purple champion. This needs a good purple champion. If both of these get a good purple champion, they are playable deck. And potentially Ezreal also needs one or two good repeat spells, which he kind of lacks so far. But since we did not get any reveal for blue, like we got so few of them actually, I kind of guess we are going to get the cores we need for both of those. But so far they stay in the strong support needed category. And then I think these have meta potential, as in like potentially in that order actually, or maybe like that. Like I think Fiora could be good, not because legend, but because of what's around it. Irelia could be good, because like green Irelia, Vex, we are seeing a lot of cards pop up, and also yellow Turnwards or like, purple Turnwards are like super strong. Rek'Sai is a good aggro deck. Azir seems like a super duper good tempo deck that will probably not play the signature in its fight. Like Mastery is top tier without playing the signature, so I think it's fine. And Draven still seems strong. Kinda. With all the good green and purple stuff, isn't Irelia just good now? I'm torn kinda on Irelia because I don't think she's going to get like way better support than she already got. And also, she's not like up there, but she's not so bad. So it's either like bottom meta potential or like most likely bad. Can't be in strong support because she already got the strong support she needed. Might be good. Might be good. What does Yisig do? It's worse Zonias. Master. Yeah. Choose a friendly unit. The next time it dies this turn, we call it exhausted instead. Reaction for 4 energy. It's just like bad Zonia. It's literally Zonia but bad. And can get defied too. Yup. Indeed. Indeed. So do we want to... Thank you for the fellow Big Eye. Do we want to talk about the format for a bit? Yeah, we kind of want to talk about the format. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming on this channel. I have been teasing for a few weeks already, or a few days rather already. You guys may know, but I'm working on a project regarding like spreading knowledge around the Riftbound community. I already talked to you about the Riftbound library. That's the name of the project. I'm going to make a full on like advertisement thing when it's all ready. But I do have a fun story to tell about this project. So just to give you a big overview of what this is, I want to build some sort of community for Riftbound guides and coaching to create kind of a gold standard in like, if you get there and you want to get coaching or guides, you know that this is the gold standards of like quality. Them guide makers are like, they have proven themselves already, both as players and as guide makers. Coaches the same, sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I talk to people about like, who do you think I should try to enroll in the project, right? So guide makers, I'm talking. And one of my acquaintances is like, okay, so I used to play Star Wars Ultimate, which is another card game based on Star Wars universe. And there's that guy, which makes free guides and is like so qualitative, and he's been a good player all along. Kind of like him, you should reach out because he's planning on switching to Riftbound. And I'm like, okay, dope. We'll reach out and see what we can do. So I do reach out. The man is hyped. He's like super chill, super cool. Big hype that we work together and stuff. And so we seal the deal kind of, and like we would be working together. And I say, okay, so what guide do you want to right now? And the guy is like, I have a tournament tomorrow that I will attend with Seth. And if I perform well, I will probably be making a Seth guide first. And I'm like, okay, dope, let me know how this goes. Next thing in the morning, so next day, I wake up, I check the results of the weekend, and I see that Yeosira won the the Rift Lab tourney with Seth. The name of the guy that I reached out to is Yeosira. like I was like, ugh. So this guy that nobody knew was even playing Riftbound said, if I'm doing well on set, I might make a guide. And he just literally won the event. He literally just won the event. So I just like rushed to my computer and I said to him like, way to go, brother. I think you have to make that set guide now. And he said, yep, yes, sir, getting started. So like pretty huge news. We will be working together, of course. Once again, I'll advertise the proper thing once it's done. But like GOAT. Plus, he's like so chill and cool, so love him a lot. Okay, and about the champion in Fiora, can I go 3 yellow Fiora of the first set and 3 yellow Fiora of the second set? Yes, you can. You can do that. Cores just have to not have the same name, but they don't like. If you look at Fioras, there, all sets Fioras, they don't have the same name. This is Fiora Worthy, and this is Fiora Victorious. So you can play both of them. No worries. So this is Yeosira's list. We are not going to go like too much into the list because we are going to have a talk with him. I'm going to bring him on stream and we are going to discuss both his lists, also his play, and like set as a whole in the current formats. So I'm not going to go in depth in that list, but you can see that he has his own way of building set with like Primal Trances, Triple Seal, double Spoils of Wars. So like, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff that we have to process, and we are going to talk with him about that. But just keep reminder that Seth won the Rift Lab event. Also, we have a Yasuo in the top 4, which is kind of what we know with Yasuo now. In like Poros trying to flip that Nocturne with that like stack deck, Rasha trying to eye roll the mid game, dropping chip units and then like rolling all over the board. Not so bad of a list. Kind of similar to what we saw in China though. Don't hate it. But it's a brand new approach to the format. Of course, we also have one Kai'Sa and one Yi. But pretty cool to see that some other decks can also perform in an environment in which we expect Kai'Sa and Yi to dominate and be like super good. And that was on Saturday, I think. And then on Sunday, were day 2 of 2 even bigger events that happened both in the US, probably one West Coast, one East Coast, I don't remember exactly. I think one of them was San Francisco, I can't remember the other one. But like both events were $10K plus pricing, so pretty big events. One of them was almost 400 players, the other was 250. And we saw something rather interesting occur. Atlanta, okay, thank you. So Atlanta East Coast and San Francisco West Coast, as I was mentioning. And we also saw something pretty interesting occur because Seth won one of them again. So on this like single weekend of tourneys, 2 wins for Seth. One of them in like what you could consider a smaller tourney in the UK, as in like not a bad tourney, but you could say, yeah, like this is not super relevant. Not many pros there. I am in touch with like both Jakub and Jeeves, which were organizers for this event as the Rift Lab guys, sorry. And both of them seem to think like there was pretty decent level there. So I still think like this matters. But we also set converts in one of them big events in the CCS event, actually. Let me just bring up the list. Okay, great. And grab that first place too. And in the top 4 were also one NE, one E, and one case. So once again, 2 decks in the top 4 that are neither Yi or case. Pretty smooth. Like people complaining about like diversity and stuff. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Markov. People complaining about diversity and stuff in like the formats are served, I guess. And then we jump to the other 10k before looking. We could look at the list before actually. This is much more of a classic set list. This is actually very close to the list that I was running when I made them set gameplays video on the channel. I did not make a guide though. But this is actually closer to the list I was running, except that this guy is not running orange set, which is like crazy to me. But I could also see the point in like you play triple board, you want to value that yellow set, you are playing it anyway in that Fiora. Kind of like that list too. It's a much more classic approach, but I don't hate it. And then we have had another tourney, with like 12k on the line this time. This one. And in the top 4, they did split, by the way, I believe. So no winner. Like Annie is the winner, but I think they split. So in the top 4, you could consider all these guys winners. We have 2 Annies, a Set, and a Kaise. So once again, in the top 4 decks, 50% or more of them decks are neither Kaisa and Master Yi. And I'm very excited because I do think that this is going to completely reshape the meta going into Houston. And I do think that a lot of these decks that we are seeing right now were already good before. But like, once again, we talked about it on stream already. Chinese people, like Asian people, were very committed to like these cases and mastery lists. They were very like 100% certain that this was the better list, and so pro players only played these decks, which led like if you have better players on like supposedly better decks, most likely like the mass is going to have that feeling that these decks are superior because top players are playing a supposedly superior deck, right? Now that this changed and the game was brought to the West, of course, this is not definite by any means, but I do like that we are seeing other decks pop up, especially Set and Annie, which I think are 2 decks that have potential. And thank you for the follow, Alcatraz. Hey bro, first time catching you on stream. I have skirmish this weekend. I'm gonna go blind play your R list and hope to get at least top 8. Good luck, brother. Good luck. If you watch the video, you know what to do. And hopefully you get there. I'm going to be playing Ari at the skirmish too this weekend. So what was I saying? Yeah, I don't believe Annie is going to win Houston, especially because I think if green players come prepared, they kinda can't drop a game to Annie. Because like DeFi plus Windwall plus Rune Prison is like, nah. I don't think there's a lot of odds that Annie wins these games. But I do think Set has a very good shot in the format. I think it has a very strong matchup into Yi. I think it has a way better matchup into Kaisa than people think, with that like yellow set being key to the Kaisa matchup, because yellow set is with a buff is 7 might on its own. You play like them arenas to pump it, And then 7 might plays around a lot of stuff, being like Catch and Rain, potentially like singularities that we see pop up in cases list recently, double falling star. Like this plays around a lot, and if they kill it, you just bring it to base with your set legend, and then you arena bar again and you buff them again. So I really do like this set list. I think Set has potential. He was one of the top ranked underdogs in my previous tier lists, and I think he could make that push to like top tier of the underdogs. I still think Ari has a good time in the current format. I still think Annie can surprise people and is by far the best viable, like the most viable aggro deck out there. But I think these games are extremely interesting to watch, and I kinda wanted to watch a set game with you guys on stream from the winner of like the 10k event. Unfortunately, it's late already, so we won't get to do so. But maybe next week we will have Yiho on stream. I hope Yiho Sira, the winner of the Rift Lab, even talking about this, and maybe we could even watch one of his games, because his games were streamed, obviously, for the Rift Lab tourney. So maybe we could even watch one of his games and like try to go through his thought process and stuff. So yeah, we are going to be talking Set next week for sure, or the week after that if Yeo is not ready. I'm hoping like that you are liking Set, because I think it's good to have them underdogs decks pop up and show off and prove that yes, they are at the level they needed to. Also, something I wanted to mention, I'm not going to talk about the Savages controversy, like giving my full-on opinion, but I do have one. And I guess people could say, yes, it made top 4 in like the 400 player event, but like it shouldn't have. Yes, it probably shouldn't have. You can watch the games, everything is on like on air on the internet. You can forge your own opinion. But I still think we have to consider Set's performance over the weekend as a whole and realize that, yes, Set had a great weekend, and Set was probably one of the better legends to pick coming into these events, and we are probably seeing a lot of Set in Houston. And also, I feel like these Set players that are already experienced with the deck and performing have a big like advantage compared to other players, because I think Set is pretty hard to play. You have to have a lot of experience with the legend to play it perfectly. And like probably if they pick up the deck now in about 10 days before Houston, they're going to have a tough time being at the like extreme level of difficulty required to pilot Set properly. Nah, streaming is English in English is fine, Nico. I'm tired, but like tired overall, not tired because English. I guess I got used to it, kinda. It was a very detailed video. I'm a Leona player, but the Kaisa matchup is way too one-sided and it's difficult to play into Victor too, so I thought Ari might be a better call for this very meta event. Never played Ari before, but I know Leona is good into it. What's your play against them? Against Leona? Windwall Denise Blades. Keep smoke screens for yellow Leona, because you want it to die as fast as you can. And then I guess the one that holds the battlefield is going to win. Like, depends. Leona lists are too all over the place for me to say, because like some of them play White Flame, so you want Rune Prison. Some of them don't. They play like Yellow Drake instead, so you don't want Rune Prison. But yeah, I think like overall, it's just play aggro in the early game. Leona has a hard time matching that, and then like just try to hold, and if you manage to hold most of the time, you win. Yup, we did review everything, Randy. We did just finish reviewing everything. Took me about like 3 hours something. But we are down, and we also talked about the meta. I guess I'm going to end the stream because I don't want to start casting a game right now, and then we are still here in an hour and something. Thank God I'm saved. Yup. Hope the coaching went well. I asked Randy if he wanted to jump on stream with me tonight to review new course, but he had coaching to do. Like, that man has a job. Gotta let him make his breads, right? So how about we find a cool raid? Hope you guys had a great stream. Let me find a raid. Friendly reminder. if you like Riftbound competitive content, casts, and stuff as a whole, feel free to follow. It's free. It gives you notifications when I stream. Prismet? Yeah, let's read Prismet for sure. Sends you notifications when I stream, so you can hop on. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Paris time, maybe 5:50, something like that. We are going to be casting the Robalas Riftbound League 2. So if you want to see some great Riftbound and talk like analysis, games and stuff, feel free to hop on. And with that being said, I'm launching the raid to go see Prismet. Feel free to join and support Prismet. They're super good player. Top 8 with Timo in one of them big US events this weekend. One of the better Western players so far since the game released. And maybe someone we would want to be working on in the future. But this is something that still has to be discussed. So thank you guys for being here. Was cool. Was nice to have you here. Hope you have a great rest of your day if you're in America. Hope you have a great night if you're in Europe or anywhere else. Hope you had a great time. And with that being said, I'm sending you off. Yeah, you can find more of my Ares video on the gameplay channel. I have one gameplay video, and then it's only the profile on YouTube. So thank you guys for being here. It was a great time, and see you next week. Bye bye everyone. Peace. Love.